What's up, everybody? Welcome to my podcast. And today I have a very special guest because he is a success coach that uses a form of transformation that I'm really into called hypnosis, among many other things. And I've met him out here in Hollywood, and I see him work with some of the biggest artists out here. And he's really focused on making changes in people in an immediate and noticeable way. This is Marczell.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
What is hypnosis?
Hypnosis is a way to reprogram the brain. So, from age 0 to 8, you're programmed a certain way. We learn languages a certain way, and you emulate all these behaviors. It's because your brain is in a brainwave state called theta. Theta is hypnosis. So if we're programmed in hypnosis, why not be reprogrammed in hypnosis? The problem is after childhood, you kind of grow up, you have your own patterns, they're formed, and then it's hard to make a change. So people say they want to go to the gym, they want to make more money, they want to lose weight, they want to have more confidence, they want to quit a habit, and they can't. And it's not that they can't, it's that they haven't gone into the right brainwave state for the brain to say, okay, now I can make the change.
Right. So it's like they're almost programmed not to take action.
Exactly. So, I always say, if you're programmed not to be successful, success is impossible. If you're programmed to be successful, success is inevitable. There's nothing you could do to not make it happen. You'll walk in a room and accidentally make money. And there are people that, maybe you know them, that just seem to have money fall in their lap all the time, or they happen to have, the right relationship always show up, or the right people always show up, and they seem so lucky. It's not that they're lucky. It's that their brain is programmed to make a certain amount of decisions, very calculated, tells you where to go, when to go, how to dress, how to feel, and just, you act in such a way that makes you charismatic and you attract the things you want in life.
And vice versa too. Like I have friends that are like that, but also I know some people that have always a story of something bad happening. Every time I talk to them, they're like, oh, this thing happened. It's like, dude, you bring it on yourself.
Yeah, nothing's going well in my life. Everyone is bad.
Right, somebody did something terrible to me. And it's like...
Yeah, because they're programmed for that. And if that's what you grow up being familiar with, that's what your life's going to look like. So I always tell people, like, the biggest pandemic we have is bad programming.
Yes.
Like, people are being programmed, and now it's worse than ever. We see depression's all-time high, suicide rates all-time high, drug overdose rates all-time high. And the reason it's at an all-time high is because we're constantly being programmed to be victims and have all these problems. So, when I work with people, whether I work with celebrities or I work with billionaires or I work with millionaires or just regular everyday people, I see that there's common patterns. And the patterns that make people happy and fulfilled are very, very different than the patterns that make people sad or depressed. And typically, even when I started this 10 years ago, I saw more positive patterns than I see now. And there is a trend in a negative direction where people are becoming more and more negative.
And reinforced.
Yes, and it's being rewarded.
Yes.
And that's the problem. Like, when you're crying and everyone's like, oh, I love you, and all of a sudden you're getting more attention, you're becoming more popular because you're depressed and because you're suicidal and because you're going through a problem, it's bad. And these people now are almost glorifying the victimhood, right? It's becoming the status. So
yeah, it's becoming like a token, like at the party, like it's like who can be the biggest victim gets the biggest reward. Not to say that there aren't actual victims of people going through real shit in the world, right? But in America, there's a lot of imagined suffering, right? I mean, there's real suffering too, but there's a lot of what we actually experience is literally in our head.
There's a lot of things we can't control, right? So if God forbid something happens to someone, they've been through an accident or been through something horrible, I always encourage them to not look at it as a place of, I feel bad for myself, because then you immediately disempower yourself. Whenever you blame the circumstance, you are now disempowering your ability to change. If I blame my environment for why I'm not successful, why this happened, I blame my ex-partner for why the relationship ended. Even if it's true, you are taking the control you have away from yourself and giving it to someone else. And I think that's the worst thing someone could do. You have to take as much responsibility as possible for everything that happens in your life. And if you do that, now you could say, hey, I can make a change here and I can make a change there. And then ultimately, you now gain more control over the things you want.
And it's funny, something you said is that even if it's true, doesn't mean it's useful.
That's right.
Just because something is accurate doesn't mean it's helpful.
I always say the map is not the territory, right? So a lot of people have a certain map. And people always ask me, well, Marcel, isn't this realistic? Look, even if it is realistic, is that the best strategy to go about life? Like, is it the best strategy to think that maybe you can't make $1 million in a month or $10 million in the next 3 months? Probably not the best strategy. Why? Because now you're not going to be as hungry. You're not going to be as motivated. You're not going to go out and talk to people. If there is a chance for you to make that outcome happen, believing in it is the number one strategy to make it happen.
Right. Because we don't do what we don't believe in.
Exactly. I always tell people, like, what, for example, in sales, why doesn't someone buy something? Right. Well, they don't buy something because they don't believe they're going to make the money back. They're so focused on what they're losing, not what they're going to make. So whenever you're selling someone, it's, people always say, oh, it's because they don't see enough value. It's not that they don't see enough value. It's that they don't see themselves making the money back.
Yeah.
So someone who is not willing to spend money, it's because they don't believe they're going to make money. So I could be in line with someone at Starbucks, and I'll know based on how long it takes them to order Starbucks, based on how they're looking at the menu, the price at a restaurant, I know how rich they are.
Yeah.
Because I don't look at the price. I'm like, give me my Starbucks, even though I barely go. If I'm at a steakhouse, I'm like, yeah, I want this side. I'll try that steak. Because I'm here to live. I'm confident to make the money back, so I don't care, right? I just bought a Ferrari, I just bought a Porsche. I live life very lavishly. I do not care because I'm so confident the money will come back in my bank account. I'm never focused on losing it. If you focus on losing it, it means you believe you're not going to make it.
It's a scarcity mindset.
Exactly.
And it's self-fulfilling.
And most people live in that.
Yeah, even in relationships, right? Like if you're so scared of losing your partner, you'll act in a way that'll cause them to go away.
You'll be in stress, you'll be less attractive. That's not what made them attracted to you. What made them attracted to you is not the stress or the fear of them cheating on you or leaving you.
Right.
What made them attracted to you is the fact that you were charismatic and happy and enjoyed being around them. You weren't constantly focusing on an outcome that hasn't happened.
Right.
People are not present. So when you're present, you're in the moment. You're creating whatever you want. And whether you like to believe it or not, even though your mind may not be present, you are always living in the moment. So if your mind is somewhere else, then you're bringing that future into the present and you are literally creating it. So someone who's in abundance makes decisions out of abundance will have an abundant life. Someone who makes decisions out of scarcity will have a scarce life. And
it almost sounds like bullshit to the people that aren't aware of this, but then they wonder, why are things always going bad for them?
Well, because they're also focused on it not working out. If someone's watching this and says, this is not going to work for me, it's because you already are literally hypnotized to fail.
Yeah.
You're focused on you losing. How are you going to win if you only see yourself losing? This is for losers. I'm skeptical. I don't think it'll work on me. What a ridiculous mindset. That's the exact mindset, which is why you don't have what you want.
Yeah. Now, for somebody's watching this, okay, and they say, all right, I'm willing to buy into this theory, right? And from their perspective, okay, Marczell, how do I hypnotize myself to make more money? Right? Because like we said earlier, the truth is that they are struggling.
Yep.
That shit is happening to them. It's not like they're making it up. Shit really is happening. Shit really is hard. So how do you break that pattern?
So if we're talking specifically about money, the number one thing that I find people have a problem with, which is why they don't make more money. This is why people don't make more money. It's because they have a bad relationship with money. Most people pedestalize money. Making money is a big deal. So if a certain amount of money is a lot of money, I'm not going to be able to ask for it. I'm not going to be able to go for it. I'm not going to be able to think about it. It's too big. It's overwhelming. It's on a pedestal. Anything you put on a pedestal is hard to reach. You have to devalue money. Ironically, you have to have no value to money whatsoever. And that's when you make money. A billionaire doesn't care about hundreds of thousands of dollars. Most millionaires don't care either. And if they do, it's because they're either new to money or they have a bad mindset around it. You don't want to get rich by being cheap. You want to get rich by making so much you can't spend it.
Every time I've given clients discounts, they've been late on payments. But when I overcharge, they pay almost up front.
I never, ever give discounts.
Yeah.
I'll only charge more. If someone asks for a discount, I double down on the price and make them charge me more. And if anything, I make it even harder for them to get in. I won't take someone who's not, if someone can't afford it, but they want to do it, I'll work something out with them.
Right.
But if someone is just genuinely cheap, I'm not going to work with them. I can't work with scarcity because they are telling me they are committed to not get the result. Are you coming to pay me to prove that you're not going to get the result? Like, why are you wasting my time or your time?
Yeah, it's so interesting because I see that happen in relationships too, where people are like defending their weakness. Like you tell them, no, you can be strong. You can do this. And they're like, no, I'm telling you I can't. I'm telling you I can't. And it's like, well,
the answer to that is you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. What? Yeah, you're right. You're a loser. Why am I with you?
Right.
Why am I with you? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah, you are what you say you are. Yeah.
But that's a pattern interrupt. Now all of a sudden they change because the intention behind saying that is to get some kind of validation. Don't give them the validation. It's completely opposite what people think. But most of what people say is nonsense. I don't listen to what they say. I look at what they do and I look at why they're saying what they're saying.
Yes, there's what I'm saying and what that says about me.
Yes. And I think intention is the one, if there was one lens someone should put on their eyes, intent. What is my intention here? What's the intention here?
Yes. Especially like going into like a social setting or a business meeting. Like you can't just go in there as a reactor. Sure, you have to adapt, but you have to know what your mission is going into it. I remember back when I used to have social anxiety, I would tell myself, okay, imagine that maybe there's somebody who's like suicidal at this party and me bringing a good vibe is going to help them feel better tonight. Whatever, just like a basic frame. Okay, I'm going into it with a frame. Now I have a reason to be there instead of being like, is it going my way? It's the intention changes everything.
Yeah, in my mind, everything's always going my way. I don't really care. I don't remember anyone who says something that doesn't work out. I'm just there and I'm having a great time. And I think a lot of people have a mindset that stifles them from this. I'll give you a great example. If I walk into a room and my mindset is, I'm here to have fun. That's my intention. I'm literally here to have fun. I don't need anything from anyone. I don't need anything. I don't need money. I don't need anything.
Right.
Well, then you have a night like last night for me, right? Where I walk into this gala and I meet Caitlyn Jenner and then I go hang out with Lamar Odom and we go to a club after and I befriend him, right?
Yeah.
Because I didn't have any expectations. I went in there and I didn't really care. It was just a great time. But if I go into something, like when I was younger, remember I was like 18, I walked into this networking event and my intention was to make some money. I was so broke. I'm like, I need to make money. And I didn't get anybody to pay attention to me. You know, I was at a networking event last week. I got invited, my friend, he's a billionaire. And he's like, hey, there's a really, really great people. You know, they're doing a dinner. You should go. I end up going there. And he's like, hey, I'm landing in LA. I'll be there a bit later. So I show up at 7. He was going to show up at 8:30. By the time he showed up, I ended up giving a seminar to 50 people at this thing. They actually all sat down inside like, hey, can you give a seminar? No one knew who I was when I walked in.
Yeah.
By the time I left, I'd given a seminar to everyone there, venture capitalists, startup CEOs, people who've exited companies, like very awesome people. And I turned a regular networking event into a full-on seminar without intent. I didn't even plan on it. They actually asked me. But I think I unconsciously seeded these thoughts because I'm so abundant that they're like, yo, if we can get this guy to do this, it'd be awesome.
And you were bringing something to the table. It was flowing out of you. It wasn't like, let me give you this if you guys cut me a check.
Yeah, no.
The check will come.
Yeah, I don't care about the money. You know, like money comes. Like I don't need anyone's money. Like I remember I was on the phone with this guy and he's like, you know, why should I give you $1 million? I'm like, bro, I don't want to work with you. Like I charge $1 million to work with someone one-on-one. I barely want to work with anyone one-on-one because it takes up a lot of my time and attention. Because results are my biggest thing. Reputation is number one. So if I take someone on, it means I have to get them the results. I have to do it. Right? I took a company from 30 million to $1 billion in 10 months. I coached and I have equity in that company now, and it's awesome. But I have to get the result. If I don't get the result, I can't work with them. So when I take someone on, I'm committing to the outcome. I'm like, this is the outcome I must produce. And you know, they're like, well, why should I give it to you? It's like, don't. You know, like don't, because, you know, I have a multiple 8-figure coaching business. I'm one of the most successful coaches in the world, you know, at 25. And I can tell you this, you know, when you're making over $1 million a month, what does 84K a month amount to? You know, it doesn't really make a difference in my life. It doesn't change my day to day. You know, if you're making 33K a day, which is minimum revenue I have to make in my company, right? 33K a day, someone pays me 84K. You tell me like 2.5 days of work, almost 3 days of work.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not helping me that much. You know, it's not like I need your money. It doesn't do anything. Someone might argue, well, you know, you could put that here, you could put that there. But when you're playing at a bigger level, a certain amount of money doesn't really change you. If I hired 2 more closers, I'm good to go. I made the difference, right?
Right. But your time is a limited resource.
Time is the only resource, right? And I always tell people, if you value money over time, then you're never going to make a lot of money. But if you value time over money, you start to actually value the real currency. You know, when you wake up in the morning, imagine you have 2 minutes left to live, right? I'll give you this example.
Yeah.
How much would you give for 60 more seconds?
Anything.
So imagine waking up in the morning, but instead of being productive and you get up and you start working right away, you spend an extra 10 minutes on your phone, you go to the bathroom, you kind of lollygag, you spend more time in the shower, you chill. If you look at how much time, let's just say every minute costs, if someone doesn't value time, $1,000, which is horrible, but let's just say you only value $1,000 a minute, right? How many minutes a day are you wasting? How much time are you wasting that you're never going to get back? And, you know, if you have employees, you have 10 employees and you allow them to be 5 minutes late every day.
That's 5 times 10. Yeah.
And it adds up. And you have these massive corporations. Well, you have 5,000 employees and 50 are late 5 minutes. What is that over the year?
It adds up quick.
Massively. And, you know, so I always tell people, if you don't value time and you don't respect time yourself, you're not going to make it happen. I'm 25 where I'm at because I value time. People are like, wow, you're so young. I'm like, no, I'm not young. I just value time.
Yes.
You know, the USA, our founding fathers, most of them were younger than me.
Yeah. People don't realize that. They were like in their 20s signing the declaration.
Your mind is sharpest at 25. There is a cognitive decline after 25.
Yeah.
You might have more wisdom, more experience, but your physical prime is 25 years old as a man.
And we have this narrative that it should take you to your late 30s to then get into your career. Why? And then go into debt?
Yeah, because imagine you are pushing a massive industry, education industry. Go to college, then go to college again for, you know, your bachelor's or PhD, then apply for a job, but you don't have experience, so we can't hire you. Then you build a decade of experience, and then eventually you start making money. And you know,
if that industry is even around or hasn't shifted.
Well, let's talk about AI. Most industries right now are going to be out of business. Law, out of business. My sister just became a lawyer, passed the bar last Thursday. 4 days ago? So now she's going to be a lawyer. Great. Her industry is screwed in 3 years from now.
Yeah, I use ChatGPT to review my contracts.
Well, watch what happens when you start having AI become your lawyer and do trial for you. I mean, all these lawyers don't realize they're about to lose their job. Everyone who works at fast food is about to lose their job. You know, and you might be surprised which industries come first. It's actually, I think, going to be the creative industries that are going to be annihilated.
Yep.
You know, and the only thing to hedge against AI is to either use it in your own company, have a business.
Yep.
Or 2, have a personal brand. People are still going to like celebrities.
Yeah.
And they're still going to like people who are well known, and they're going to want to connect with you because there's still going to be that human need for interaction. So really blowing up your personal brand will be a hedge. It's not going to be the ultimate security, but I think that's the ultimate way to avoid what's about to happen with AI. People don't realize we're about to be in the craziest time in history in terms of recession. Every job is going to be wiped out.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a job, you're going to get wiped out. You better start a company now.
I agree. Because it's funny because the way I use AI is just to speed up how I deliver projects now, right? Like AI, I'm using it to now get 10x done in a week. Right.
I mean,
and soon, like you have to be on the right side of innovation, right? Like when the music industry changed from CDs to downloads, they could have bitched about it, or they started iTunes Music.
The time of this,
with the winners.
This is November 12th, 2023. In a year from now, it's gonna be very different. In 3 years from now, it's gonna be very, very different. So anyone watching this, I'd like you to understand we're in 2023 in November, and I'm gonna call it out now. The train is moving very quickly, and it's going to leave. And if you don't get on the train now, you'll never get on the train.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are discounting what's happening. This is the biggest weakness people have. When I coach companies and I coach individuals, I coach relationships, people have no foresight. They do not see the consequences of their actions. And by the way, not taking action is an action in itself. So not going for an opportunity, not taking action, that is an action that is guaranteeing a failure. And we're not highlighting AI enough. Let me tell you, like, AI is coming for everything.
Yeah.
And if I'm a business owner and I have 1,000 people on customer support and I pay $20 million a year to run this massive customer support call center, in one snap of my fingers, at maybe $100,000 tops to maintain this thing a year, and that's expensive. I'm exaggerating. AI is going to be very cheap. Okay, $100,000 a year at most to maintain this. I have a call center that's more efficient, faster, communicative, and understands how to turn things around. It's not there yet, but it will be.
I'm sure the coaching industry too is eventually going to have, I'm sure Tony Robbins is probably running all his questions and answers from all the seminars. Soon you'll just have Tony in your pocket.
Well, I have an AI right now. That is me. You could talk to, has every seminar I've ever done and has the same logic, same thinking, same adjectives, same verbs, pronouns, communicates exactly how I do, knows every single one of my topics.
Smart.
So I did this, I implemented this for the last year. I've been programming it, and people pay me $30K a year to be part of that.
That's amazing.
And
so if somebody's listening to this right now, let's say they're bought in to this whole conversation. Great. Other than going to a coach on their own, what can people do to start reprogramming their mind?
I think people have to be consistent. And you have to be consistent at what you want, not what you don't want. People are consistently inconsistent. They say they want to go to the gym, they go for a couple of days, then they stop, right? They're consistently inconsistent. So I would say someone who wants to reprogram their mind needs to understand that they have to learn how to feel like the person they want to be. Emotions create all actions and all behaviors. And emotions come from the images in your mind. If you don't know where you're going, and most people don't know where they're going, they have no idea the direction. If you don't know where you're going, you're never going to get there. So you have to know where you're going, and then you have to see it in your mind. I visualize where I'm going to be every day, probably 10 hours a day. Every hour I'm awake, there's an image in the back of my mind that says, Marczell, this is getting you closer to having a stadium with 15,000 people, and you're changing their life and you're hypnotizing them. Every moment of my life, I'm like, how do I get better? How do I improve my skill? I'm studying, every time I'm talking to someone, I'm studying their body language. I'm like, okay, how can I use this on stage? The reason I'm such a good hypnotist and I'm so fast, I'm faster than anyone else, and I'm more effective than anyone else, is because I'm like, I need to create a skill set for when I'm on stage, 15,000 people. I can't call someone up and be like, close your eyes. No, I got to be intense. I got to be fast, and I got to be effective 100% of the time. There's no, I can't be hypnotized. No, there's none of that. You can't do that. You have to make sure that no matter what, it works, and every time I'm gonna hit it on the dot, right?
It's an unstoppable frame.
Exactly.
So you said consistency is important, right? It reminds me of an old quote people used to say, don't dress for the job you have, dress for the job you want. But in your case, it's don't think about what you don't want, think about what you do want. You have to vibrate at the result.
Yes.
From a sense of gratitude, not from a sense of pedestal. Not like, I wish one day I could make $1 million. It's like, no, how would you feel and breathe right here, right now?
Yes. So you want to always make decisions out of abundance. People make decisions out of scarcity because that's when you're in a problem, you got to make a solution, right? So you're not going to create a solution for a problem in the state that you were in when the problem was created. So for instance, if I was in scarcity because all of a sudden I got a parking ticket, now I'm going broke, I'm not making my bills. Well, guess what? I have to get into the mindset that I'm very successful to find a solution. I always tell people, you're always focusing on the future. Your brain's number one job is to see what the future is going to do. Based on where you think you're going to be, your expectation of the future, you're going to feel a certain way now. You don't feel good now because of, oh, wow, I feel so great now. You feel good now because of what it means about your future.
Right.
You met someone, they're going to pay you. Now you see a good thing happening in the future. You met a beautiful person, you attracted them, you see a future with them. That's why you're excited now. You feel like shit because you see something not working out in your future. You're always seeing the future in your mind. People don't know that.
Right.
And that's what we call focus. So when you focus on a future where you don't have what you want, you're going to feel like shit. And when you feel like shit, no one wants to get up. No one wants to be motivated. You don't want to go up to people. Why doesn't someone go up to someone and get their number? Because they see themselves getting rejected before. Why don't they ask for more money? Because they see themselves getting rejected. They see themselves losing. So you finally have the courage to do it, but in the state where you see it not happening, and your subcommunication, the way it comes out of your mouth is unconfident, unattractive, unappealing, and I'm not sold.
Yeah, it's like they're asking, expecting to not even get it.
There is no question in my mind, I'll get everything I want.
Yeah.
No question. I have no fear because fear equals me focusing on what I don't want.
Right.
Even if right now we're going into World War III, even if it's the end of the world, how does it serve me to focus on?
Yes.
It doesn't make me feel good, so I'm going to enjoy every moment of my life and be delusional. Well, maybe I'm not being realistic, right? Realistically, yeah, there's a good chance. AI can end us. There's a lot of things that can end us. There's a great chance. But I'm not going to feel good thinking about it.
Yeah, you're in charge of your own human experience, subjectively, no matter where you are. Even if you got captured and you were like a POW,
yes,
it's up to you to survive as a POW mentally. Yeah.
And I feel a lot of people are a prisoner of their own beliefs. They don't know what their beliefs are. You're not aware of your beliefs. It's like literally, it's like driving a car and you have no idea where the GPS is programmed to take.
Right.
And your beliefs are that, right? Do I believe it's hard to make money? Do I believe that I'm not good enough? Do I believe that no one will find me attractive, or I'm not able to speak, or I'm not communicative, or I'm not coordinated, or I'm not athletic, or I'm not healthy, or it's genetic and I have a slow metabolism, or all these nonsense beliefs? These are the things that create the life you don't want, or the things that create the life you do. Your beliefs are a pot of gold. And if you don't change your beliefs to what you want, you will never, ever, no matter what you do, have what you want. I think people need to focus on their mindset more than anything else in life. And, you know, if you look at politically right now, their job is to make us focus on things we don't want. They want to create a society that is reliant on the government, that is constantly a victim, disempowered. They want to train psychologists, therapists, personal development. They want to train people to do things that don't work. Why do people go to therapy for 7 years and it doesn't work, or they get minimal results? Why do you believe it takes years to change? It takes me minutes to get someone to have a transformation. You go to a therapist for a decade and you didn't get the result? How embarrassing. Imagine.
They want that billing.
Yes,
that consistent billing.
It's not that they want the billing. That's the business model. Forget the business model. It's because they're educated to think that this is psychology. This is how it works. No. Who runs psychology? Who runs the education system? Who's teaching these people? Who's teaching, you know, right now, if you look at kindergarten, it's an assembly line. Yeah. It's an assembly line to the next political agenda. So I grew up, Pledge of Allegiance, proud to be an American, patriotic. Go look now. Yeah. They don't do that. Right? Because they're changing things. They want to have more power. They want to, I mean, I'm not even being conspiracy theorist here. This is literally what
what's happening.
Yeah, that's why you see mental health is going massively in the wrong direction. And it's becoming normal. It's normalized to be depressed. It's normalized to be sad. It's normalized to be suicidal. Why is it normal? Our ancestors weren't. This is not normal, but they're making you believe it is. And anytime someone comes around and changes that, and all of a sudden people start getting to personal development and it threatens their agenda, decades of priming, they have to nuke it. Yeah. So who's the biggest person we know in the last year that just got massively canceled? Not because he's so great.
Tate. Yeah. And Brand. Yeah. And they're both waking people up and then just...
And they're not even that good.
Yeah.
They're just big. And because they're big and they're making people come and stand out into personal development, this is a movement you can't do as one person. One person is not enough. They can cancel a person. They can't cancel an ideology. They can't cancel a movement if you do it collectively. It's something people have to get on board and make it a habit. You have to make it a habit to meditate. You have to make it a habit to focus on what you want. You have to make it a habit to realize that mental health is easy to change. You're depressed, easy to change. You have negative thoughts, easy to change. All these things are easy to change. Do not listen to the therapist that told you that. Do not listen to the mental health, person that said, hey, you're damned for life. They are a liar. They are incompetent. They do not know what they're doing. I get people at my seminars all the time. I just had a seminar. This guy comes to me, he's like, look, this thing has been weighing on me for 11 years, right? It's ruining his marriage. He's been married for 11 years. This happened right at the beginning of his marriage.
Right.
He watches his dad die. His mom made him say goodbye to his dad and watch his dad die, and it fucked him up. And in 30 seconds, I hypnotized him on stage. Every time he thinks about his dad dying, he laughs. He doesn't feel bad, doesn't feel negative.
Change the association to it.
Instantly, though. Instantly. And, I just went, sleep. You feel good. You laugh at this, right? And then bam, a little bit more. I said a little bit more, but, now he's great. He's like, dude, my life is changing. I feel amazing. Why, though? It happens because life can change in an instant, right? You fall in love in an instant. You make a decision to marry someone in an instant. You make a decision to say yes to something in an instant. You get a car accident, you're scared of driving, instant. You go through something traumatic, instant. All these changes happen in a moment.
Yeah, it takes us years to get around to that moment, but the moment is a moment.
That's right. And instead of waiting years to move on, instead of waiting years to get over the ex, years to, make a change, or wait till things happen that are so hard where you're forced to make a change, why not bring all those moments, take the thing we value the most, our time, condense it to right now.
Yeah.
And say, right now, I'm going to own this moment. I'm going to own the now. And in this now, I'm going to make a change. The change is I'm committing to the future I want. When I started this, no one believed in me. Nobody. Like, what is this kid doing? He's dropping out of college. He was going to be a doctor. Now he's doing this stupid, ridiculous thing. What is hypnosis?
Yeah.
Who is this guy? And now I laugh. I take laps around doctors' salaries. What a doctor makes in a month, a cardiovascular surgeon makes $27,850 a month in California, in LA, which is a very, very poppin' market, right? If I don't make that in a day, I didn't do good.
Right.
So I didn't think I'd be making that. I thought I'd be making 20, 10, and be doing really well. I didn't see that far ahead. But as I make progress, as I grow, it exponentially improves. Your mindset is like a sharp, sharp, sharp tool.
And I think that the most pessimistic view of this conversation, somebody would say, is almost like The Secret, where they say, oh, I can think of $1 million, but I don't have it. Yeah. If you don't believe it's possible, you won't even take the actions. You still got to take the actions, and you have to believe that it's possible and that you deserve it and that it's right for you now.
So imagine I gave you the winning lottery ticket, millions of dollars, winning lottery ticket. You now have it. What would you do to cash it in? Anything.
Right.
But if you don't believe that you have the winning lottery ticket, if you don't believe you have it, then what?
Right. You don't do shit.
You wouldn't cash it in. So you have the winning lottery ticket to life. The question isn't whether or not you have the winning lottery ticket. The question is, do you believe it? And if you believe you do, you'll do whatever it takes to cash it in. Your dream is that lottery ticket. Everyone has one. The question is, do you believe it?
Yeah.
So
we highly underestimate what can be done in a day and in a moment. Like you said about wasting time.
Yeah.
Like if you believe that you had like 24 hours to accomplish a majority of your dreams, your set of actions, your decisions, the questions you would ask would be so different. Maybe you say, oh, in 10 years, maybe. You
need a reason to do it. And
yes.
I always give this example at my seminars. If someone you love the most needed you to make an extra 100,000 or 1 million or whatever, depends on where someone's at financially, a month, this month, or they die, who would do it? Raise your hand. The whole room raises their hand every single time.
Because it becomes a must at that point.
Because it's now a reason. So why not give yourself a reason? Why not even imagine that this is the reality? Yes. Even if it's not true, why not imagine someone's dying and you have to do it for them?
Right.
Because it gets you to take the action. Whatever gets you to do it, that's the mindset you should get in.
Yeah, whatever it takes. And it might be different for each person.
That's right.
And like you said before, sometimes we wait until things are so terrible to then change. And a lot of times when we feel a terrible feeling, we try to numb it and make it feel, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And we keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. I've done seminars before, we just make people say, make it horrible today. Like it's the worst thing, like crunch all that pain now instead of stretching it out over time.
Exactly. When I play basketball, for example, I imagine that this is game 7 NBA finals. I'm getting a championship or my career is done. It's my last game.
Yeah.
Every time I play.
Yeah.
And I'm amazing because I think that way, and I'm competitive. I see nothing. I see I'm winning. If I don't win, it's the worst thing that ever happens. I hate it.
Yeah, when I work with creatives, I talk about, the difference between when you're doing a project, something that you love versus a client that you're like not so excited about. A lot of times creatives will slack off for the clients that they're not excited about. And I say, what if your favorite artist ever was going to watch this work that you're doing for the shitty client? Would you be proud of it? Would you show this to them? Like if Jay-Z or Beyonce was going to look at this edit, would you want to show it to them? No, then it's not ready. Because if you're capable of being that good in front of your favorite, then be that good all the time.
I always say be consistent, right? My standard is no matter what. Look, I'm on this podcast. I'm all in. I slept 3 hours last night.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm on the podcast. I'm all in. I will communicate the way I need to communicate. I'm showing up. I had 104 fever. I had a seminar in January, 3-day long seminar.
Jeez.
104 fever. Literally should be in the hospital, okay? 3 days in a row. I spoke on stage 12 hours a day. Felt like I was dying. My face was swollen. I felt like shit. Literally dying. Freezing, sweating, in a suit with a jacket on, right? And I showed up. People flew in. People stopped what they were doing. People paid their last dime to show up to this. I'm going to deliver.
At a high level, there's no excuses. You just deliver it.
Look at Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
He said, people flew in. People paid to come see me. I can't tell them I'm sick. I got to perform. Michael Jordan had that, right? He had that flu game in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He performed.
Rihanna did the Super Bowl pregnant. She performed the Super Bowl full belly. You know, it's like you can't not show up that day. You can't just not feel like it.
No, you perform. That's it. And that's the thing. People who are successful, people are like, they're lucky. You know, you hang out with someone successful, you know why they're successful.
It's not an accident. Nobody accidentally has a six pack.
Yeah, I was going to tell you about that. I was hanging out yesterday with a few of my female friends, and 2 of them are fat. And I'm looking at them, and I'm always asking because I never hung out with them long enough to see them eat. And you know, they invited us for like this breakfast. They brought donuts, not those 2, but other friends. They brought donuts and stuff, and we're there, and these girls just keep eating donuts. I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything, but now I know why they're fat.
Right.
They literally had 3 donuts each. I'm like, I would get fat if I had a donut. I'm 205 pounds. I don't burn that many calories. Right. And they're like, oh yeah, keep eating. It's fun. I'm like, look at the beliefs you have around this. This is horrible. This is why you're fat.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not fat shaming. I used to be fat. I lost 24 pounds in 1 month, but I made a decision to.
And it's not that everybody needs to get to a certain outcome, but it's when I hear people complaining that, oh, I want this outcome. Yeah, but your actions don't match it.
Then you don't want it. You know, people tell me they want it, but then they don't go for it. I want a nice guy, but you only go for garbage. Why? Because that's not what you want. It's not what you say you want. It's what you take action on.
Yeah.
Right?
Sometimes it just feels good to say it.
Yeah, because it's a mask.
Right.
It's a lie. If you don't lie to yourself and you're real, you'll know what you really want.
Yeah.
If you're in a shitty situation and it hasn't changed, it's because you haven't wanted to change. People have a hard time accepting that. Yes, I do. No, I don't like being broke. Then why are you broke?
Yeah.
Why are you homeless? Why are you struggling? Because you don't do anything else. Well, I'm stuck mentally. You're stuck mentally because you haven't made a decision to change. Your life depends on it. You'll get resourceful very quickly.
It's not an absolute must. Yeah, it's like an entrepreneur is not somebody who can start a business. It's somebody who will not have a job. It's like, yeah, I can't.
I'm never going to work for someone.
Yeah, never.
I will not work for someone else. Yeah. I'm not going to wake up and someone's not going to tell me what to do.
Right.
I had a job. You know, I was working at CPK as a host. And as a host, you have to clean the bathroom. So I didn't sign up to clean the bathroom. I didn't want to be a host. I wanted to be a server. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll be a host. I was there for 3 weeks. So this is my last day of work. My manager in like our radio thing goes, hey, go clean the bathroom. I go, I see there's paper towels all over the floor. So I look at them. I'm like, I'm not touching that. I kick it under the stall. I come back out to the front. It was pretty slow, so I had nothing to do.
Yeah.
He hits me up. He's like, yeah, I told you to clean the bathroom. I go back in there. I'm like, how are there paper towels on the floor again? You know, they're everywhere, paper towels. So I kick it under the stall. Comes back to me like 5 minutes later. He's like, Marcel, come with me. I'm going to show you. You didn't clean the bathroom. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to find the paper towels. He opens the other stall and there's shit all over the wall. And I go, nope. I took my name tag off and I quit. He looks at me, you can't quit. I'm like, yes, I can.
Just did.
And I left. And I'm like, I'm never working for someone else ever again. There's no amount of money you could pay me to clean shit off a wall. I don't make my bed. I don't do dishes. I don't do laundry. Not because I don't know how, but not because I'm physically not capable of.
Yeah.
Because how much do I value time?
Right.
I'm not going to waste my time. And imagine making your bed for a minute every day, doing your laundry for 20 minutes every couple of days.
Yeah.
How much time at the end of my life have I spent doing things I don't like doing? My standard in life is to only do what I love as much as I can, because we have a very finite amount of time and I refuse to spend it on things that I don't love doing.
What do you want now?
You know, there's a few things I want. I love what I'm fulfilled. My job is fulfilling. I love helping people because I see people who haven't been able to be helped, or people who have a big goal, but they're wasting all this time. I'm like, look, forget the money you're going to make. What about the time you're going to save? That to me is the way I look at it. So I'm all about shortcuts. That fulfills me. When I work with clients, it fulfills me, my skill set. I love it. This is my passion. But you know, the thing I love the most is love. And that's what got me into this in the first place. And I've only been in a very, very good relationship once, like where I had love when I was young. And my standards are very high. So I'm the guy who looks at consistency. You know, I get it. You're really nice at the beginning and now you're not. Well, that's not what I fell in love with, right? It's not what I wanted.
Right.
So I love and my standards are very ridiculous. And I would love to have a solid relationship with someone that I truly care about, you know? And that's the thing I love the most, but I'm not desperate for it. I'm not in scarcity over it, but that's what fulfills me, you know, love. Yes. But that's why I love seminars, because there's so much love in the room. You're in the room that you
feel it flowing through you. It's love is you're serving, you're connecting, people being vulnerable with you.
I don't even remember what I say at a seminar. I just remember how people, I remember the result. I go in there and I'm like, I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth, but I do know that it's with the intent to change these people's lives.
Yes.
And I will do it. And I do it. You know, every single seminar, I go all out. I put in my heart and soul. And when I work with someone, heart and soul, because I love it. I love them. I love the outcome. I come from a place of love. I have no resentment. Any of my exes, any of my old friends, I love all of them. I have no anger because there's no room for it. I don't want to waste a minute of my life.
It doesn't serve.
Feeling not good, you know? And so, you know, my goal is to continue to enjoy every moment, right? The goal, of course, there's an end goal. But if I continue the habits I have now, I'm sure ultimately I'll end up being where I want to be.
Yeah. And you're in the process. right? The outcome will come. Yeah, it's like you don't get abs, you do the workout. The abs come from you going to the gym. You have to enjoy the stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know, there's a discipline. It's you think about it all the time. You think about what you eat. You think about what you're putting in your body. You think about how you sleep. You're thinking about the workout. What time I go to the gym. You know, same thing with confidence. Like working on confidence. Anytime I feel uncomfortable, take action. Anytime I feel bad, do something to change it.
What was your first personal turnaround for you when you went from not knowing this shit to knowing this shit to like your first?
Yeah. So I was 15, and I remember I was texting this girl. Her name's Mai. And I really like this girl. And I'm texting her for months. And, you know, we hang out. And I'd saved up. I was getting $5 a week. My parents were very, very broke at this time. I didn't have money. So they're giving me $5 a week. That was my allowance. And I would use it for gas. I was like, I'm not going to use it for gas this week. I saved up $5. And then next week I had another $5 that they gave me. So 2 weeks I wasn't going to use it for anything other than this. And I told her, hey, let's go out. So we go to the Galleria. It's like this mall in, you know, Sherman Oaks here.
Yeah.
And there was a Quiznos there, which is like a, you know, a cheaper Subway, I guess you could say. And I didn't have money for me, and I borrowed $5 from my friend. I said, I'll give it to you next week. So 3 weeks of my money I gave away for this one meal. And she's like, are you hungry? I didn't eat all day. Of course I was starving. And I buy her Quiznos, and she's eating it, and she like throws away the other half, and I'm like, ugh, you know. And anyways, she ends up leaving 10 minutes later. Some guy picks her up and goes out with her. And I'm like, look, I'm not a dumb guy. I'm obviously doing something wrong that I take the food out of my mouth, literally. I would take the shirt off my back for this girl, and she designed it to me. And I wasn't mad at her. I'm like, something is wrong with me. I took responsibility. I said, what is it? So I have a pet monkey, and I started watching, you know, him. I was watching shows on primates, and I made the association like, wait, we're primates. So women are looking for something. And I'm like, is it money? No. Is it fame? No. What is it? I'm like, it's confidence. Yes. Confidence is value, right? So we're looking for some sort of value. Value equals attraction. When you look at a penny on the ground, you're not going to remember it. $100 on the ground, it's rare. So the more rare that is, the more value it has. What's the most rare thing in the world? Is it money, fame? No, it's confidence. Confidence, self-love is the most rare thing. I said, I got to work on my confidence. How do I do that? Well, my biggest fear was approaching people, like getting their number, talking to people, even guys, doesn't matter who it was.
Yeah.
So I made this new friend group, and, you know, around the same time period. And I asked one of them, because I thought it was normal to walk up to random people. I was the one who thought I was not normal.
Yeah.
So I tell him, like, hey, can you come into the mall and like help me, you know, walk me through this? 8 hours. I make an excuse after excuse. And finally the mall's about to close, and there's these 3 girls walking away. And I said, okay, I'm going to do it. And I feel my hands, I'm shaking. My body's like sweating. My hands are sweating. And I said, hey, I think you're really pretty. Can I get your number? In the most insecure way. And they all stopped. They looked at me. They laughed at me. The worst reaction I ever had till now. I mean, I've never had a reaction like that. And I became confident instantly. I realized, well, this is what I was scared of. This is what I was scared of? Of course not. And I went up to someone else immediately. I was 15, I had braces on, had a buzz cut. I looked really weird, you know?
Yeah.
And I went up to this other girl, and she's 24. I'm 25 now, so someone was pretty much my age now. And I said, hey, what's your number? And she goes, I have a boyfriend. And I go, so what's your number? She gave it to me anyways. And I felt so good. I didn't care about the number, you know? I wasn't even with a woman for the first time until I was 17. So I just went to the mall every day for the next 3 months. All day, every day, just talking to people. What's your number? Guys, girls, talking to everyone, just starting conversations, working on charisma, seeing how people respond to me, seeing if I'm coming off weird, when I would lose my confidence, when would I get nervous, until it became so comfortable to do whatever I wanted. I didn't care anymore. And
so the personal transformation was first.
Yeah, 100%. I wanted to be more confident. And it wasn't like, the goal wasn't to do anything. And I started taking my friends because they saw me becoming really confident. And I'm like, hey, let me show you how to do this too. And all of a sudden, all the nerds are getting all the girls, you know?
Yeah.
And we're just feeling good. Like all of us were happier. You know, we didn't care about anything. We were different. And we saw the world differently. We started caring about our athletics. We just cared. We had different perception. When you're confident, you're not really in your head at all. You're out here.
It's a flow state. Confidence really is. It's a magical power. A lot can happen. Even when you're playing sports. Like I recently got into tennis a couple of years ago. And it's funny because I noticed when I'm stressed out about work stuff, my game is different. But even if something stressful happens, when I go in there and just get into a beautiful state, you're not noticing the ball. You're not saying, let me hit it this way.
That's right.
It just goes.
Yeah, it's our conscious mind that gets in the way of things. Our conscious mind is super weak, and it gets in the way of our processes. So if you just let yourself be in a state of trance, right? That's trance, what you're in. You go into trance and you just on autopilot, you're going to close everything you do. You're going to kick ass in everything you do. So confidence allows you to be unstifled. It allows you to not get in your own mind, not get in your own head, and therefore you can come out and be in a flow state. And a lot of people lack this. They lack self-love. They're confident, they're not confident. They're confident, they're not good enough. But I show them how to change that pattern of focus so they can be confident that they can do whatever they set their mind to.
And what was your first financial breakthrough?
So I was making like $350 a week. You know, at this point, I've already been coaching for like a year and a half. I'm 19 or 20 actually.
So you were already coaching at that point?
Yeah, I was already coaching.
Coaching dating stuff or success?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, I started at 18, and the dating thing was very short-lived. I immediately expanded. I saw that this isn't a niche that I want to help women. I want to help men. I love everyone. So I wanted to help everyone, and I love. So that's why I started with relationships, and then I kind of expanded because I wanted to coach them more on their mindset, their confidence, their business, their ability to communicate. And I had 2 dogs, and I used to sleep in the kitchen at my parents' house because in my bed we had bed bugs. We couldn't get rid of them, and we didn't have money to get rid of them. But every time we tried, we couldn't. So bed bugs have a host. They pick a host, and I didn't want to be sleeping in a bed with bed bugs. So I was the host. They'd always bite me. They'd always eat me alive. So I'm like, I'm not doing this. So I would rather sleep in a chair in the kitchen with my dogs. So I would sleep with them every night. I had 2 dogs named Picasso and Mona Lisa, and they're cute. I love them. And I would sleep with them. Like I'd be on this chair. They'd sleep next to me. Sometimes they'd sleep on top of me, and they kept me company, and I loved them. Anyways, this is January 27th, 2018. I wake up in the morning and, I'm chilling, hanging out with my dogs, doing some work, trying to figure things out. My friend Jason hits me up like late afternoon, like 4 or 5 in the evening. And he goes, hey, do you want to go get sushi? I said, sure. So he picks me up. We get the sushi. I'm about to order, and I let my dogs out before we left. And my dad calls me while we're about to order. And I answer and hear my mom crying. And my dad's there. And he goes, both your dogs are dead. I'm like, what do you mean? I was, both your dogs got ran over. Both your dogs are dead. And he hung up. And immediately I had never felt, it was like, it felt literally like someone took a knife and just stabbed me, right? It was the most gut-wrenching feeling I ever had. And I got up, I went outside, and I just started crying. And I felt like shit. And I told my friend, like, hey, please take me home. So we go home, and I hear my parents, my mom specifically, crying through the front door, because we had like a gate and then a door. So the gate was open, the gate was closed, the door was open. And we just cut down a tree in our front yard. So there was all these logs everywhere. And I said, I'll just wait for them to go to sleep, and I'll wait outside, because I didn't want to see them. I didn't want to face the reality of what they're going through and the whole situation. So I go to sit down on one of the logs, and I look, and there are my 2 dead dogs' bodies on the log. And I just sat with them for like an hour, and I felt so bad because I'm the one who let them out. I let them out of the house, and I was there. I'm looking at them, and I'm saying I'm sorry, and I'm crying, and I'm petting them, and I was just like, how are they dead? Like, I was just with these dogs, and 2 months before, I just lost my other dog from 2nd grade. He died. Shit. So I'm like, this is like, why do these things keep happening? I kept asking myself, like, almost like a victim. I'm like, why are things getting worse? I'm trying everything I can. Things keep getting worse. Yeah. And then I remembered an interview Tony Robbins had where he said he had a 6-month waiting list, and he charged people $1,000 a session to get rid of any fear or phobia. And I finally changed the question. I asked myself, I said, how can I can't bring my dogs back. So what can I do to at least help my parents? I said, I can make more money. How can I make more money? And then I remembered this interview popped up in my mind. And I said, well, I could charge $1,000. And because I had this pain, and this pain was so strong, I no longer cared about asking for money. I used to have people come into my office, and I would go all out, and I still couldn't ask for money. And my dogs are dead. I'm looking at them. I had no fear anymore. I didn't care. That was the moment that finances. You
feel some real pain, and you realize, getting told no is nothing compared to actual pain.
I had money on a pedestal. I said, fuck it. I don't care about money anymore. I really valued love and time, and I'm like, I don't value money anymore. Money has no value to me. I just need to do it to do it. And I went in my house. I put on the only suit I own. I went to every bar, restaurant. I was out for like 2 days almost. And I was talking to people. I'm like, hey, if you want to change your life, I go into restaurants. If you want to change your life, come talk to me in the back of the room. And I started closing people for $1,000, $1,000. And like the biggest breakthrough I had, it was the morning, and I was crying, and I felt so tired, exhausted. My head hurts. I'm dehydrated, and blowing my nose with like Chipotle napkins. And I don't know if you know, on Ventura Boulevard in Sherman Oaks, there's a Panera Bread next to Chipotle. Yeah. And on the back, all these actors were doing all these actors just at 7 a.m, just all hanging out there and practicing, and writers. And I started talking to them because I see a lot of people, and I'm like, cool opportunity, because it's kind of dead in the middle of the night. At 7 a.m, all of a sudden, all these people are waking up again. And I talk to them like, yeah, we're actors. I'm like, hey, I'm going to hypnotize you in front of everyone. I start hypnotizing them, and I give them all these anchors. I'm like, yo, if you do this, you're going to cry. If you do this, you're going to be happy. And I show all these people, like, look at how it's going to help you. And if you have writer's block, I'll get rid of it. And, all of a sudden I closed like 7 people for $1,000 right there. And I saw it was possible. And I just started closing people $1,000 for a session. I made like $40K in a night, a couple nights, and I came back home, and it changed my perception of money, my relationship with money. And then I got chilled. Like I kind of got comfortable. And then in 2020, I doubled down. I said, okay, time to make a lot of money again. And, the most I'd ever made other than that, like per month, consistently was like 20K. It was very consistent, like 15, 16, 18, 20.
Yeah.
So now I'm in January 2020, I made $23,085, I remember. And then all of a sudden, February comes, I made $25,000. So, I'm like growing now, and I wanted this new car. And anyways, I go buy this new car. Well, I try to buy this new car, and I convinced the dealer. I'm like, look, I don't have the money. I'm flying to Miami tomorrow. I didn't say I don't have the money. I said, I'm flying to Miami. Let me take the car back with me. No matter what, I'll pay for it. I'll take care of it. So I fly to Miami. He calls me like, look, if you want to make this deal happen, you got to put $45,000 down on it when you come back. Most I'd ever saved in my bank was like $5K at once. I never had more than that. I'm like, yeah, no problem. And I just knew I would have it. I felt confident. I'm like, there's no way I'm not getting this car. I took the car with me because I committed to having this car. And I made it happen. I made like $75K that weekend. And it just changed my perception. The $75K, and then the next month I made, the cash in the bank I made was $45. So I paid him. And then the next month I made 30, which was the other money that I didn't get paid yet for that month. Right. So I was really chill. I almost got lazy again, like the same pattern I had there. And I caught this pattern.
Because you momentarily had more than enough. So then your drive went down a bit.
That same thing happened when I made the 40K, right? So all of a sudden I said, okay, wait, I need to double down. I saw my statement, it says 30K. I said, no. Doubled it, 60K the next month. Then all of a sudden 80K, 120K, 140K, 160K. And then I went, 220,000, I think in August of 2020. I was like, oh shit, I'm really like starting to grind. And it just changed my paradigm around money. I'm like, okay, this is how you make money. This is what you do. I didn't care about making money. I didn't care about it, like asking for it. It just became very easy. And that's when I started to make a lot more money. And then December of 2020, I got equity in this company that started at 30 million evaluation. Now it's worth over $1 billion, and it'll probably be worth 5 or 6. And I have quite a bit of equity in there. So that's pretty awesome. And, I realize you don't have to wait for something like what happened to me with my dogs to go make more money. You could just go do it. And a lot of people wait till things are so hard to make it happen. And, my advice to you is don't wait. Life is short. You never know what's going to happen. You never know. You could wake up tomorrow and you could be with the love of your life right now, and it all could end. You want to enjoy a nice ride on Pacific Coast Highway in a convertible, and you're not sure if you should buy it, go buy it. Yeah. They want that extra pair of shoes for $300, buy it.
You want to go on that extra long ski trip? Do it. Do it now.
You want to go to a restaurant, spend the money. Don't look at the fucking menu. The price. Just order. Life is short. You'll always make more money. You'll find a way to make more money, especially when you spend more money. I've never heard someone say I spend more and they don't make more.
Yeah, straight up. And it's funny because money is a currency. Currency likes to flow. Money likes to move from place to place. Like there's this internet meme about should you take 500K or dinner with Jay-Z, right? It's like this meme. And it's like, if you knew what to do with 500K, you could get it anyway. If you knew what to do with $500,000, you could just ask somebody for $500,000 and then you would invest it. Like it's not hard to get. The dinner with Jay-Z is hard to get, right? You have to understand money likes to flow. It likes to be used. If you're saving money, you're technically losing because of inflation.
I always say money's like a river. Yeah. The more you spend, the more you make, right? If I'm not willing to spend, it's because I don't believe I'm going to make it back. And if I don't believe I'm going to make it back, are you going to make it back? Of course not. And I think a lot of people struggle with this idea that, they're taught that because they're getting a salary, 2K, 10K, 5K, whatever a month, that's all they're going to make. You must leave your fixed income to make more money. You must find other ways to make more money. Because if you don't, then you're never going to be able to get to where you want to be. You're never going to have financial freedom.
Yeah, especially if you can make that shift from being paid for your input versus being paid for your output.
Results, yeah. Well, that takes more confidence, right? Like if I'm working a commission-based job, I better be able to perform. And I think a lot of people have the fear. What if it doesn't work? Why are you seeing it not work?
How about what if it does? Yeah.
It's a different pattern. But there's a winner's mindset and a loser's mindset. And I think most people who have a winner's mindset will do whatever it takes to make it happen. And those who don't have a winner's mindset won't.
I remember when I moved to LA, I came here like overnight. It was like a Tuesday, I was in Chicago. And then on a Wednesday, I was like, I'm moving to LA. And I just drove out here and I had like 1 month's worth of rent. And my sister asked me, she's like, what are you going to do when you get out there? I was like, oh, I'm going to work with celebrities. She's like, what if it doesn't work out? I'm like, it'll be fine. I'm going to make it happen. And then like a week later, I'm on tour with P. Diddy. And it's just like, but I met him when I got here. I had to show up with like 1 month's worth of rent, no job lined up. But I'm like, I'm here. It's going to work somehow, some way. The parachute opens after you jump, right?
That's right. I remember I met Logan Paul. I just saw his car on the side of the road and I just stopped and befriended him, and I think your ability to be confident makes it easy to connect with people, Yes. And if you're just socially calibrated, you're not a weirdo, don't be a weirdo. Like I used to be weird, but I worked on it. And now I'm not weird at all. I'm extremely socially calibrated. So I think a lot of people should work on themselves Because if you do, you just become more valuable. People want to be around you. They hit you up. They text you. They call you. They want to be around you. You offer that to them. And, I would say the number one skill to learn in the whole world is how to connect. How do I talk to someone? How do I connect to people?
Because every business is a people business.
That's right.
No matter what the industry is. I mean, now AI is a whole different thing. But even then, the AI is to affect people.
Well, you're going to connect with AI, right?
Yes.
Like you're going to talk to an AI and you're going to have some relationship with it. Well, it won't have emotions, but you still do.
Yes.
And you're going to operate on these emotions and they're going to change. And people forget, we are not that hard to influence. If you just have a little bit more skill and a little bit more knowledge on everyone, you're gonna perform in ways like I'll walk into rooms with investors, and they'll throw money at me, and I still won't take it. Mm-hmm. I know how to get them to throw money at me. I know how to walk into a room with women, and get them to all want to be with me. And I'm not saying this in a cocky way. I earned the ability to do that.
Yes.
I used to walk into rooms, be unnoticed. No one wanted to pay me. I would beg, and it wouldn't happen. And when it did happen, they wanted a refund.
Right.
I used to chase women and they'd run away. So when I say these things, I know what it takes. Anyone can do it. No, I'm not good looking. What if you're a girl, right? Like, you can't get a guy to stay with you. There's something that you're doing that's making that happen. There are certain women that I've met that are married. And if I were married to them, I wouldn't want to leave either. Their husbands are happy. And I've seen certain men, that women are just, every time they're with them, it's the best time in their life.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where whether it's a relationship, whether it's a business, if you get better, things around you get better.
They really do. It really is the internal. And it's funny because it's not that the outside world doesn't happen. It does happen. But if you have a frame of it's happening for you, like Tony always says, for you, not to you.
Yep.
Right? Like I remember 3 or 4 years ago, before I launched my business that's doing well now, I had lost everything from an ex-partner. He got like Me Too'd. People didn't pay me. It was like all the bad things that could happen happened at once, right? Like I loaned people money, they didn't pay me back. Everything went down. And in my mind, I was like, oh, this is the best possible thing that could be happening right now because this is an amazing origin story for my next success. And now I have a business doing over $1 million a year, but it took that. If I hadn't lost everything and framed it as a positive, like when the pandemic happened, every dance studio in the world shut down, I said, great. All the choreographers are now available for work and they don't have money to pay me. So I said, I'll shoot your videos for free. I'll partner with you and we'll split the money. Right. And it was like, it happened for me. And I remember the rent moratorium happened where they weren't allowed to evict you from your apartment for not paying rent. Right. So I took that 8 months and didn't pay any rent, spent that money on my business. And then it blew up because I just knew it was going to work. And my friends were like, what if you go deeper in debt? I'm like, I'll figure it out. But I'm playing to win. I'm not playing hoping to lose. Like I'm shooting for the 3.
Yeah, you're going all in.
Yeah.
I remember in 2020 for me, all my friends that were coaches and some of them were even doing better than me.
Yeah.
They went out of business. Mm-hmm. They're not doing that anymore. And I went, okay, I can't do seminars. I can't see people in an office. Fuck it. Let's go online.
Yeah.
10x my business like that.
Yes.
And people don't realize if you're resourceful, everything that happens can be to your advantage.
Everything. It's funny. One of my exes used to always get mad because she would say that everything goes my way. I'm like, something that goes my way. It's just that I make everything happen work for me.
Well, that's all she's seeing.
Yeah.
What about all the times it doesn't?
Yeah.
I always tell people I'm probably the unluckiest guy you ever met.
Yeah.
But you see all the good. You're not seeing all the bullshit.
Right.
I've been unlucky unbelievable amounts of time. Look, it's not about, I always say this, if you are scared of failing, there's no such thing. There's such thing as this opportunity wasn't the opportunity, but if I believe I'm going to fail and that happens, I make it a big deal.
Right.
And then I might stop there. It's like me climbing a ladder and then I get to the next step and I go, oh, there's more steps. But I believe that because there's another step, I'm never going to get to the top. Well, if you keep climbing, eventually there's a top. Like, so, there's got to be you got to reach your goal.
Yeah. People don't realize how important that shit is. Like the mentality with your actions is so important. Like I used to film extreme sports. My old roommate won gold at the X Games, right?
That's awesome.
I used to go on tour with them filming. And I remember this one time we were doing this big stunt and he was saying to himself, I really hope I don't fall off the rail and land on that bush because that would really suck. And it's like the very next thing that happened, right? It's like literally he was like, oh, I hope this doesn't happen. And then it happened. But the ones that win, the ones that are real winners, they throw the tricks and almost like look away. Like they'll throw the trick and like, here's a rail and they'll look away and just grab it because they're going for it. They're playing to win to where the only way to land that trick is to just completely believe it's going to happen. Right. And then take the fall as it comes. It really is. I think The Secret fucked people up because when it first came out, it taught people that the law of attraction is just think of $1 million and then you have $1 million. But it took off the action part and the self-programming part. I mean, it's better than not using it at all, right? But what you're saying also is that, because I'm also trying to imagine the most pessimistic person listening to this right now, right?
Probably depressed, probably lonely, probably broke. And if they're not broke, they're not happy.
And all their references from life are supporting their theory. They're like, yeah, shit does suck.
You know, there's also references from their life that support the other theory. The question is, are they going to be able to access that library? No. You know, I always say skepticism is the thing that's programmed you to lose. Because what you find is the most successful people in the world are the most open-minded. You know, people say, well, can I be hypnotized? Well, you can, but the question is, how open-minded are you?
Yeah.
I could forcefully hypnotize someone, but why? Why would I sit there and try to hypnotize someone who doesn't want to be hypnotized?
Right.
I would rather hypnotize someone who comes in and says, Marczell changed my life.
Right.
I don't need to prove to you that I can do it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think a lot of people are like, well, prove to me that you can. No, prove to me that I should. You know, it's like I do this all the time. Everyone goes in. You don't go in. You're not following instructions. It's not my fault you can't follow instructions. You know, it's your fault. It's not my fault you're not changing. It's not my fault you're not making sales. It's your fault. So, you know, I have the same script for everyone on my sales team. Some people perform insane. Some people don't make money. You go listen to them. They don't say it the right way. They don't they don't follow the script. They change.
Yeah.
I'm like, why do you think you're not making sales? Because you're not on script. To make sales in my company, you have to be extremely confident.
Yes.
15 minutes, $30,000. There's no way someone will give you $30,000 in 15 minutes unless you are 100% congruent on the offer. And if you have sales resistance and you're not certain, people are gonna be like, why should I pay you?
They can feel it in your voice. I
never ever have objections, ever. The only objection is genuinely, I cannot afford it. How can I do something with you? No problem. I'll take care of you. I'll find something else. I'll give you a seminar ticket. Like, you know, I like helping people.
Yes.
So I'll do things for them. But that's the only time I get an objection. There's no such thing as an objection because I know I'm going to get the results so strongly that they know it too.
Especially because you believe in your product.
Because I get the results.
Yes.
You know, at the beginning, it was uncertain. Can I help someone? Of course I can. I've done this every day. I do this all day long. This is like, this is nothing. You know, it's like you could give me the best, give me your hardest client. You're a therapist, give me your hardest client. Tony Robbins used to say this.
Yeah.
Give me your hardest client. Watch how easily I changed their life.
Yes.
You know, it's not hard.
And your certainty about your product is a big part of the value as well.
I
feel it in
I have a moral obligation to tell the world that you could change it in an instant. I have a moral obligation to show people that they don't have to be trapped in their own mind. But if you don't know that, you're going to go to someone who's not going to help you. You're going to try hypnosis with someone who's not good. Most people suck. I don't care how many followers they have. I don't care how good they say. I don't care how they bag on me. None of them can do what I do. None of them have done what I've done for the industry.
Now, when you started, how did you get hypnotized and how did you learn it?
I got hypnotized when I was 13 to get over my fear of playing football. Okay. I played football one season. We had a coach and he died. So we dedicated the next season to him.
Okay.
And, you know, when I was playing, we had like 13 people on the team. Most football teams have 30 to 40, and you only play offense or defense or special teams. You don't play the whole game every play 4 quarters.
Right.
When you play that way, you get tired and you get injured, and we were getting seriously injured. Everyone was getting fucked up every game. It was like everyone had PTSD. We'd go to the game. We'd be anxious, throwing up before games. We wouldn't eat. We all felt like shit. None of us enjoyed the game, right? It wasn't like fun, like a sport you wanted to play. So I had such bad anxiety from playing football that it would make me sick, literally make me sick. So I had to go get hypnotized. And I go get hypnotized, and I'm like, this is a bunch of bullshit, woo-woo, blah, blah, blah. You know, telling my mom I don't want to go. She's like, just do it. So I do it, and I remember that I was scared, but I can't feel it. I'm like, why can't I find this feeling? I go to my game the next day. Everyone in the locker room's throwing up anxious. I can't feel anxious. We play half the game. Normally at halftime, I'm like, fuck, I have another half of this. I feel nothing. I'm kicking ass. I'm having the best game I ever played.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, my fear is gone. Why? Because I got hypnotized. And that was one time, 20 minutes.
And we don't realize that we're actually always getting hypnotized.
You're in trance all the time. Whether you're in a trance to believe it doesn't work, whether you're driving, whether you're walking, brushing your teeth.
Social media, the news, whatever it is.
Everything's a trance.
It's always a hypnosis.
24/7. Like I went like this.
Of it.
I went like this. You went like this. Yeah. That's a feedback loop. You're unconsciously mirroring me. That I'm mirroring you as well, right? Yeah. Nodding. That is a feedback loop. That is a trance. Communication. That's a trance. You're not thinking about how your tongue moves in your mouth. You're not thinking about how to use your vocal cords. That's all a trance. The second you start thinking about how to communicate, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. You know, because you're in trance. So I just hijack the trance someone's in and I change it to a trance they want.
I like that phrase. You hijack the trance that they are already in.
They're already in a trance. I'm just going to take it and change it to what you want. Instead of being in trance to be broke, instead of being in trance to be a loser, instead of being in trance to be unhappy or single or, you know, just miserable, Why not take the shitty trance you're in and make it the trance you want? So you get to where you want to go on autopilot. You're on autopilot 99% of the time. They say 95% of the day. Bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet you're not. You're not thinking about anything. Right now, even though we're talking, we're present, we're actually in trance.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about stories. We're not here in the room. We're somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Someone's like, I can't be hypnotized. How many windows are in your room? How do you know? Even if you're not there, how many windows are in your car? How do you know?
Yeah.
You're seeing it. You're leaving the room you're in to go see that.
Right.
And that's the point. People don't realize that they're constantly in their head. You see the world not through what it is, but through what's in your mind.
So day to day, nowadays, do you hypnotize yourself? What is your regimen, your personal you to you regimen?
First thing I do when I wake up, I wake up, I go in the shower.
Okay.
When I get out the shower, I close my, I brush my teeth, I do all that. I get out, I get dressed. I sit down for like 5-10 minutes, close my eyes. I tell my mind, shut the fuck up. Like literally tell it, shut the fuck up, quiets down. And I see what I want. I visualize what I want. I see it. I feel the emotions. I'm there. I'm on stage. I hear it. I hear how loud it is in that room. I hear myself talking. I literally feel, I can see the crowd. I can see the lights. I can see the light in my face, like the white light. And I'm there and I'm like, okay, I just did this seminar. I know how it feels. Now, what does a seminar mean? It means I have a certain amount of money in my bank account. It means that my life is a certain way. It means I'm probably not single, right? It means I have all these things aligned as well. So I feel all of my goals. It means I have 7% body fat. Like I see all my goals in one thing. And then I feel incredible. And now I'm primed for the day. They did a study. Tony Robbins talks about it. But long story short, the temperature of a coffee cup changes people's perception of a story that they read.
I remember that story, yeah.
So just the temperature of something can change it. Everything changes it. If you're in a bad relationship, this is why I'm single. If I'm in a relationship that makes me feel bad, it ruins my opportunity to make money.
Yes.
It ruins my opportunity to connect. Everything primes you. Your environment, I'm only around people that make me feel incredible every day.
Yes.
If you're around someone who makes you feel like shit, why are you around them? Why are you around someone that makes you feel bad? Why are you here in an environment? Oh, it's my family. I don't care. I don't care what title they have.
So changing the environment to support.
You want to be in the most powerful environment. I was in a mansion last year and I didn't get along with my landlord. So I didn't want to renew my lease. And I move out, but I thought I would end up coming to an agreement with them, but I didn't. So I had like 3 days to find a new spot. So I found this spot. It was like $10K a month. I went from a $40K a month mansion, 10,000 square feet, crazy house.
Yeah.
Just like 3,000, sounding like crazy, but truly 3,000 square foot house. It's like $10,000 a month in the hills, beautiful, but like, most people would be like, wow, this house is awesome. But I didn't feel fulfilled in that house. That wasn't the environment I'm used to. I'm used to crazy, upgrading, not downgrading. So I felt like I just contracted. And although I was making a lot of money here, I didn't feel good. Genuinely didn't feel good. And I started looking for a new house. I'm like, I'm gonna break this lease. And ironically, as I'm looking for a new house, I say, I'm moving into this house tonight. Like tomorrow, I'm gonna move into this house no matter what. And I tell all my friends, I'm like, yo, come with me to the gym. They're at my house, let's go to the gym. We come back, someone broke into my house. Someone robbed the house, right? And I'm like, wow, what are the odds that the day I wanna move out, someone breaks into my house and robs the house? Everyone's like, oh, are you upset? I'm like, I'm ecstatic. I'm like, I have more of a reason to move out. Like,
yes.
This is awesome. This is fucking sick,
Bro, I feel you so. It's funny. I felt that way when I bought my first new car because I had the money already, but maybe I should save the money. And I had this older car and I hit a speed bump and the fucking trunk popped open and some gear fell out, or some film equipment fell out. And I was like, I'm getting a car today. And I just went to and it was like a gift. I was like, great. Gear broke, car broke, fantastic. I walked into a dealership and I said, I want that Jeep right there. That exact one. You want to take us for a test drive? I'm like, nope, that one. And just left with it. And it felt so good. The universe makes room when you know what you want. It really does.
Bob Proctor has a really famous thing that he says. And he goes, if you have clothes in your closet you don't wear anymore, throw them away.
Yeah.
And within a few months, your closet will be full again.
Yes.
Because in order to get what you want, you have to make room for it.
Yes.
So every time I'm in a bad relationship, I'm not making room for the relationship I truly want. Every time I settle, I'm not making room for the things that I truly want. So now my environment's incredible. I love my house. It's open floor plan, glass
I love it.
everywhere.
It was beautiful. It feels more homey than the last one.
Yes, and there's lights everywhere. It's just a good vibe. You wake up and you feel happy all the time.
The vibe feels more like an actual home.
Exactly. I wake up, I feel good. And that to me is the number one thing. In my environment, I always want to feel good. I hate settling. So I woke up, my friend took me, he has a Ferrari F8 Spider, and he took me around the block. And I just liked it. I'm like, okay. I woke up the next day and I went and bought one. And I woke up and I'm like, I want a Porsche GT3. I want a stick shift. I want it right now. I bought it 2 days ago, right? So I wake up and I just say, I'm going to go do it. Even if I didn't have the money to do it and I had to put on my Amex, I would go do it. I do not care.
And then it'll put you in a state to earn more money.
And I make the money. I don't care. I'll fucking find a way.
And it's funny because for everybody out there listening, maybe cars isn't your favorite thing, but there is something that is to you, right? Something that is the valuable high-end experience for you, right?
I love driving.
Yes.
That to me is thrilling, right? I enjoy the driving. Like I don't buy cars to show off. Like there are cars you could buy that would, if I took all my cars and I have probably like almost $2 million in cars.
Yeah.
If I took all of them and I just swapped them out for 2 cars, I could have 2 very, very sick ass cars that are probably the most expensive cars on the road.
You look like you're having fun when you're driving them, though.
I think
seems
for me,
joyous.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't buy. Look, I have some designer clothes. Like all my suits, I love suits, so I'll buy very expensive suits. My suits are all custom tailored, like very expensive.
Taylor gang.
Yeah, thousands dollar suits. But that's because I care about that. Other jackets and coats, very, very expensive jackets, coats. Regular clothes, I don't care what I'm wearing. Right. I don't give it, like shoes, I only wear like Adidas Ultra.
Because you know what's valuable to you. Yeah. Some things are worth the money, some things aren't.
But I don't wear it to show off. People wear things to show off. I don't care about showing off. Right. I care about what I like, And I think a lot of people make this mistake where they want to prove themselves to everyone.
Right.
I don't need to prove myself to anyone. I don't care. Don't like me. I don't need it. I do this for me.
Yes.
So the other day I was talking to this girl. She's like, "Why'd you get a Porsche?" I'm like, "Because I wanted to." She goes, "Well, I like Lamborghini." I'm like, Go get one. Go date a guy with one. What do you mean?
Yeah.
She's like, starts laughing. And she's like, "No, I actually like your car. I was just testing you." I'm like, okay. It's just, I don't give a fuck. I don't get it for girls. I didn't get it, not that girls don't like it, but I didn't get it for this. I get it because, you ask anyone, even Joe Rogan, what car is the most fun car to drive? Porsche GT3. Even Elon Musk says, besides the Tesla, he's like, I would get a Porsche. I love Porsche.
Yes.
Right? Porsche is my favorite car.
It's for your own personal enjoyment.
It's my favorite car.
Yes.
I've had every car. I've had McLarens. I've had Ferraris. I've had every car you could think of.
And maybe people would be more motivated to go after their goals if they actually knew what was that Porsche for them.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like we'll ask for a discount on the Honda. Nobody gets a discount on a Lambo.
Yeah, there is
none.
Bro, I mean, I've spent, in the last year, I've spent over $1 million with Porsche, like $1.3 million with Porsche. I still paid $55,000 over MSRP, which is the greatest deal probably in the country for a brand new GT3. Right. And the minimum one is like $80K for a used one over sticker right now. So, it's like, people don't realize, I saw this stupid fucking reel. This guy's like, I ordered a GT3 RS. They're going for 150 over sticker right now. Minimum, like 125 minimum, right?
Right.
And he goes, yeah, I ordered it and they didn't want to sell it to me because it's 125 over sticker and I wanted MSRP. And it's like, brother, first of all, even if you bought it 125K over MSRP, what do you think you're going to sell it at?
Right.
125K over MSRP.
Right.
That's what it's going to sell at in 3 years from now.
Scarcity mindset already if he's not seeing the value.
It's their brains like, well, the value says this, but that's not what the value is because you can't get it anywhere. If you go to gas, right, and the value of gas is $1, but you can't buy gas for $1 a gallon anywhere, then that's not the value of gas.
Yeah. The value is what you can actually pay for it.
And what you could sell it for.
Yeah.
And the whole point is these people are delusional. It's like what you're really saying is you can't afford that extra 100 to 125K. It's like I might as well get something else.
Well, Jim Rohn used to say that. He was like, nothing's too expensive. You just can't afford it.
That's true. It's exactly it. There's nothing I can't buy that I want.
Yeah.
So, and if I want it, I'll find a way to buy it.
Yes.
When I was younger in 2020, I went to Maldives. Most expensive resort in the country, $50,000 a night. Okay, just for the villa, not including food, not including anything. Plus flights.
Damn, it wasn't all inclusive?
No.
50K plus the dinner bill.
Plus everything. And it's very expensive.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I can't afford this. My client can. I'm going to make money and go there. So I made like 50K going to this vacation and had the most luxurious experience.
Yes, you had a reason to make the 50K.
Yeah.
It's like people that are like starving and then they get somebody pregnant and now they have a reason to make more money.
Exactly.
Oh, because I have a kid.
You know what?
Yeah.
You just right now gave me an idea. I'm going to write this down. I'm going to go to Maldives and I have a seminar coming up. And I am going to do it in this Maldives. I'm going to do a retreat. I'm going to sell this retreat in the Maldives. Sell retreat at Maldives. Awesome. Thank you very much.
What was the first time you were able to help your parents out?
Yeah, I think when I was younger, I remember we had like these fundraiser chocolates. Mm-hmm. And I would go around, I'd knock on apartments and I was selling them, for like $5 a chocolate.
Yeah.
And I'd just give my mom the money. I didn't value money, I didn't care, but I knew it helped her out. And I knew like giving her like extra $100 was like a big deal at the time. So I remember I would do that when I was really young, like 8, 9 years old, go around like selling chocolate. And I didn't even know what sales was. I didn't give a fuck, and it was just so easy.
Chocolate was such a hustle, bro.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? Those like fundraiser chocolates.
I used to keep the box and keep flipping candy afterwards.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just would do that all the time. And I would always help in ways that I can. Like I wouldn't do my laundry, wouldn't make my bed. You know, even when I was younger, I wouldn't.
Marcel hates the laundry, everybody.
Yeah, take out trash. I don't do that. But you know, I was always a good kid, and I would help in any way I can. But you know, in my adult life, like you know, I just bought my dad a Turbo S cab, like a brand new Porsche. I bought him a Targa 4S. You know, both brand new. A truck. I bought my mom a G-Wagon. I bought them a house. You know,
Do you remember the first big purchase, the first big help after you started making real money?
It was the first thing I remember in 2018. I got my dad a $30,000 Carrera S Porsche convertible stick. It was like 30,000. It wasn't crazy, you know. And then the first C8 Corvette in the country. I remember in 2020, I bought him the first C8 Corvette, and then
Did he know it was coming?
No, I bought it for him the same day.
You just showed up one day?
Yeah, so that same month, I bought that AMG GT. I bought another AMG GT. That Mercedes I told you I made like all that money for. I bought another one for one of the coaches working for me.
Yeah.
And I bought my dad a C8 Corvette. And then he didn't like it because it wasn't convertible. So I bought him the first convertible C8 Corvette in the country right after. Bought my mom a G-Wagon, bought them an RV, 2 jet skis, which we haven't even taken out. So, you know, it's kind of fucking stupid. But yeah, I think that was the first thing, you know. Buying the house was the biggest thing in 2020. 2021, I bought them that. That was a cool thing. I haven't even bought myself a house. You know, I like renting, but you know, I don't know. Like the biggest thing is they could buy whatever they want. Like I gave my mom, my sister, and my dad. They all have an Amex. They don't have a limit. They can buy whatever they want. You know, I don't think they'd be ridiculous, but you know, every month you could see the bill going up a little bit more, right? They're getting more comfortable pushing it, which is good. That means that they're getting more abundant. They're willing to spend more money. So I don't really care. It makes me happy. You know, I think money's made to be spent. So why not give it to your family, give it to people you love? And, you know, if I go out to dinner with anyone, I'm paying. Yeah. You know, I cover dinner no matter what. I'm buying.
That's such a good feeling of when that shift happens in life. From chipping in to fighting for the bill.
I couldn't even chip in. I remember when I was younger, you know, I couldn't even afford Cheesecake Factory. My friends would be like, hey, come with us to Cheesecake Factory. And I wanted to go so bad. I wanted to go sit there, you know, and I'm just like, how embarrassing. I don't even have the money. You know, I'll never in my life be broke again.
Yeah.
Ever. I will not allow it to happen. You know, I will never not be able to eat at the fanciest fucking steakhouse and pay for everyone at the table. I'll never feel like I can't buy the car I want, make my bills, or live in a beautiful home. I mean, I had a chef for 3 years. You know what I mean? Like, only reason I don't have one right now is because he went to Vegas.
Yeah.
There's a standard of living that I do not ever want to leave.
Because you also know what's possible.
And
when you literally have a reference, not just you're visualizing, but when you feel it, you touch it, you're like, oh, this is possible for me.
If you taste it,
yeah,
that's the thing. Someone who's confident can taste the new standard, immediately adopt it. Mm-hmm. Someone who's not confident, taste it, doesn't say it says it's not for me, walks away from it.
Yeah.
So as long as you know that you can do it because you believe in yourself, there is no limit.
Yes.
You know, I hang out with billionaires and they go, Marcel, you spend more money than me. I'm like, you should probably spend more. You know, like life is short. Yeah. I'm only gonna be 25 once.
Right.
You know, my best friend just bought a brand new, actually C8 Corvette yesterday, convertible. Because I remember when we were driving it, he's like, I'm gonna get one of these.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just like a more symbolic thing, but it was super fun. He bought it last night, and that's why I slept 3 hours. Because he shows up to my house. He was at the dealership at night. You know, bought it at night. He just spontaneously said, fuck it, I'm gonna go buy it. So he buys it at night, and then shows up to my house at like 2 a.m. So I take out my new Ferrari and we just drive around till like fucking 5 in the morning.
That's amazing.
You know, and then this morning,
life.
And I had a couple events today. I had to wake up. I'm like, fuck, it's so hard. So yeah, I better make up my sleep tonight because I have a seminar coming up this weekend. So I gotta make sure I get some rest. But you know,
what would be some basic? We have like 20, 30 minutes left.
Yeah.
What are some tips you can give people right now? Actionable steps they can do today to start creating turnarounds in their own life.
First thing is know what you want. You know, people are like, hey, if you're making 5K a month, you want to make 10? That's not what you want. That's what you think you can get. There's a difference between what you think you can get versus what you want.
Woo! Say that again.
There's a massive difference between thinking, hey, this is what I want versus this is what I think I can get. Most people are in the paradigm of this is what I think is realistic. This is what I think I can get. So you say you want to maybe double, well, I'm doubling my income. Yeah, but you didn't double anything. You made 5 to 10. That's not, 5K is not a lot of money. 10K is not a lot of money.
Right.
You could turn it around in 1 second. So I want to make $30,000 a day. I want to make $1 million a month. That's what I want. Great. How much do I have to make a day? What am I going to sell? Who am I going to sell to? What type of products can I sell for that? Is it a product? Is it a service? If it's a service, how much do I have to sell? Less is more, right? I don't want to sell 1,000 things. I want to sell one thing for 30 or one thing for 50 or one thing for $250K a week. What is that thing? What is valuable enough? How do I build it? How do I create it? How do I learn the skills that I need to sell, to market it, to make it happen? You put the pieces together. Once you have the outcome, do the math. Doing the math is how much do I have to make? Is it a product? Is it a service? Work backwards. Then say, okay, what's the first thing I need to do right now? Okay, I need to start doing research. Where am I going to get it? What am I going to learn? How am I going to study? Make it happen. You don't know how to sell? Find good closers. You don't know how to market? Find a good marketer. Give them percentage commission if you don't have money to pay them at the beginning, and then transition later on. They're not partners. Just give them commission.
Yeah.
Not equity, commission.
Yeah.
So start there and then take action. You don't believe in yourself? Then you're not going to do it. I don't care how much fear you have. Do it anyways. Don't care what anyone says. You can't do it. Do it anyways. I've had
You'll learn more from the action anyway.
So many successful people told me, Marczell, you're doing it wrong, this, that. I'm more successful than them now.
Yeah.
By a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm way younger. So I don't give a fuck what people say. I always say, I bring in people that can teach me about my company. People have worked with Tony Robbins and people have worked with very, very big companies. And they're like, oh, we can help you out. They're like, do this strategy, do this. And I'm like, okay. I do everything they say, even though I know it's wrong. I'm like, didn't work. Because you don't know my business better than me. And when
we were just talking about this, advice from the outside doesn't mean specific for you.
Exactly. And you'll have people in your company that will give you good advice and good insight, but nobody knows better than you. I know where my company's heading. I know when it's going well or not going well. My whole company's cheering. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? We have problems. What do you mean we have problems? Look, this. I remember we had a day where we were making like 100K a day, 4 days in a row, and everyone's cheering. Like, we're doing great. I'm like, no, we're not. We only closed 4 out of 50 calls. 4 out of 50 calls.
They're looking at the wrong metric. They're looking at the total instead of the actual closing rate.
Yeah, and I'm like, leads right now are a gold mine. So we should be closing 300 to 400K a day on these fucking leads, not 100K a day. I'm like, this is horrible. They're like, no, it's not. Then lead quality dropped because I had this serendipitous time where you're getting all these great leads. Doesn't last. So you got to capitalize on the opportunity when it's there. And I was right. So a big thing is when the train arrives at the train station, get on it. People they think that abundant times remain. No, they don't. There are waves. You'll have a good time and a bad time, but it's the good times that average out the bad times. And you do better and better and better on the good times. And on the bad times, you do okay. And eventually, it kind of averages itself out.
Almost like a dollar cost averaging, right? It's like,
exactly.
Yeah, take the consistent action. Yeah.
But as long as you're always on point, you're always taking advantage of opportunities, even when they're bad times, even when they last extended periods, you'll crush it.
Yeah, people do tend to think that things are going to be permanent, that if it's bad, it's going to keep going bad, or if it's good, it's going to keep going good.
Whatever they believe, right?
Yeah.
So if I believe it's good, it's always going to be good. It's actually, it's an illusion. If I think, oh, it's good, it's always going to be good, and I'm not preparing for it, it's because I'm delusional. I'm actually lying to myself because I believe it's going to be bad or refuse to face the reality.
Now, how do you discern between that and thinking about what you want versus you don't want versus being aware that it's not always going to keep going good?
So I have something, it's called reality testing. People with narcissism have a very hard time with this.
Okay.
Reality testing is the ability to see reality, but not let limiting beliefs blind you. So is it reality that someone can make $1 million a month? Yes. How much does Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk make a day?
Right.
100 million, 50 million? Like, they make a ridiculous amount of revenue every day. You know what I mean? Crazy amount of revenue. So if they can do that, why can't I make $1 million in a month? Of course I can. Of course I can. Someone else can do it, I can do it. So it's not that I can't. Now I have to say, all right, what's in the way? Where is what I'm doing taking me?
Right.
And there's always variables. In my company, the variable is marketing, sales, fulfillment. Fulfillment, I'm always going to be consistent in. My sales team's going to be inconsistent. My marketing's going to be inconsistent. So I always got to be on top of these two and see what's going on with these. And when you have amazing sales and amazing marketing, I double down. I scale. I'm like, guys, we got to go. And I'll even scale on the fulfillment side. I'll start selling more. I'll be hungrier. I'll try and make the pot bigger.
So to distill what you just said, what I'm hearing you say is understand where you are right now and where that's leading.
Yes.
Not that you're focused on what you don't want, but just ask yourself, if I keep doing the same shit I'm doing today, where's that going?
Yeah. What got you to where you are may not get you to where you want to be because things change.
Right.
Times change. Environment changes. So I might have a trading strategy in Bitcoin. Like when you have a bull market, you're not really going to lose money.
Right.
When you don't have a bull market, you lose money and you got to change the strategy. So, where are things going? Like right now, the average cost of a house in 1979, I believe, was $39,500. Today it's over $500,000.
Right.
The same house. It doesn't mean that you made money. It just means that it costs a lot more to buy the same house.
Right.
Because money is way less valuable.
Right.
So it's not a good investment. Same thing happens with time. As time goes on, it's not that you're necessarily doing something that's making you more. You just think you might be making more. I always say you got to be, what is reality? Reality isn't negative. People think reality is negative. That's subjective. That's an opinion. Reality can be good or it can be bad. These are the facts. What do I want to do with these facts? And I think that's what people have a hard time doing. They have a hard time looking at the facts. These are the facts. The facts are that this is not as good as it should be.
Right.
So therefore, I got to improve it and I got to change it. I have foresight. The facts are my sales guy decided to be late for 3 meetings in a row and he's a bit less energetic and he's showing signs of disinterest. He's going to quit within 2 weeks. We need to replace him. These are the facts.
That's not you focusing on the negative. That's you being seeing what's actually happening.
The sooner you face the problem, the sooner you find a solution.
Yes.
If you choose to ignore the problem, then you're going to have more problems.
Yes.
If I see a fire and it's just a spark, put it out. Don't let it become a forest fire. Don't let it become a flame. Don't let it build up. A lot of people avoid problems. Don't avoid the problem. See the problem, meet it where it's at, and destroy it.
What's that book says? The obstacle is the path.
True.
Yeah.
Because you would have never reached that obstacle if you weren't making progress. As you make progress, as time goes on, right? Time's gonna go on no matter what. So I can decide if I want to make as much progress as possible in this amount of time or not.
Yeah.
And if I'm not meeting obstacles, it's because I'm not putting myself in a position where problems show up.
Yeah.
Now people say, well, more money, more problems. No, more money, more things. You do more things.
And people have the wrong association to the idea of problems. People who are dead have no problems.
Yes.
Right? Like when I go snowboarding, the problem is how can I get up this jump? It's not a problem. It's a challenge. When you start your business, it's just life is about having better quality of challenges and the flow state that I'm in while I'm solving.
Well, let's say for every 100 things you do, there's one problem. So 1% of things are problems.
Yeah.
Well, as you get bigger, you're doing 1,000 things or 10,000 things. So you're gonna have more problems. But it's not that you're having more problems, it's that you're just doing more.
Yeah.
So I see problems as a sign of I'm doing more. Now, maybe if I keep getting the same problems, I'm doing something wrong.
Right. Like is it a problem?
Pattern.
Yes, that's supposed to happen, or is this like a pathological problem that's just repeating?
Yeah. Is this a pattern that isn't happening? Like why is it that I find great closers and then they keep quitting? Okay, what's wrong with the culture? What's wrong with who I'm hiring? What's wrong with when did it shift? There was a moment it shifted. When did it shift? Oh, they made a lot of money and then it shifted. Am I giving too much commission? Is that what's happening? These guys aren't used to making a lot of money and now they're making too much? No, maybe. I don't know. Right? So I have to now problem solve.
Yeah.
And then try and predict and fix. A lot of people, instead of dealing with the problem, they allow it to sit there and ignore it because it feels better to pretend that you're doing well than it does to understand that maybe you're not.
Ooh, say that again. It feels better to pretend that you're doing well.
Yeah, it feels better to be delusional. Oh, things are going great when they're really not. I don't like to lie to myself.
Yeah.
So, am I going to be extreme? I'm going to be bigger than Tony Robbins. I'm going to be the biggest person in this space. I'm blowing up right now. I'm going to continue blowing up. I'm not worried about it. Does that mean that I just stop? I stop making content? I stop going on podcasts? I stop filming? No. I double down. I go even harder.
Yes.
I went from posting once a day to twice a day. I might even start posting 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Just double down. Make better content. Post. Grind. Work. Scale. Focus. Like people are lazy. They don't want to do it. They rather be like, oh yeah, life's great. But it's not.
Yeah, and there's a misconception about positivity, right? Because you're aware of where things are and you're positive about where they're going to go.
Yes.
But you're not delusional about where they are.
Yes.
You're like, no, there's real problems here. That's not me being negative. That's me saying the boat is leaking, but I'm positive we're going to get to the island.
Like what's the difference between being insecure in a relationship versus not? My girlfriend decides to go out with her girlfriends to a club. Okay, great. She's not my girlfriend. Why? Because I don't like it. I don't care if she's cheating or not. I don't like it. So therefore, I don't want it. Mm-hmm. Now you're like, well, are you controlling? No, I just don't like it. She knows I don't like it from the beginning. She doesn't have to be with me. I don't like it. It's my standard. Controlling is, oh, it's fine. Why are you going? Huh? Why? I'm not trying to change you. You show me what you are, and I decide if I want to commit. Yes. And I'll show you what I am, and you decide if you want to commit. This is who I am. This is who you are. Are we compatible? Maybe not. Yeah. That's reality. Not viewing reality is, well, maybe they'll change. Why? Delusion. I'm not here to make you change. I'm here to make you align with whoever you're with. If it's not me, it's not me.
I just went through that with a girl I've been dating recently, because I always do open relationships and poly. And I was telling her, I was like, you don't have to be my style. My style isn't right and your style isn't wrong, but this is how I live my life. And I'm letting you know right up front, this is what I'm doing. And for a while, she was like trying to like get with it, but not fully. And I'm like, it's okay. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Yeah. But this is how I'm living.
100%.
Yeah.
Don't come to my life trying to change it.
Yes.
Hung out with someone yesterday and they're like, yeah, I don't like the color of your chairs in your kitchen.
What a random comment.
Yeah, like just a bunch of things like, oh, we should change this, change that. And I'm like, like, yeah, you're coming to my life to change me. Like, does it look like that's going to happen? No. It's like someone, I love when I hire closers, like, yeah, your closing process isn't good. Okay. When you close as much as I've closed personally, you can give me feedback.
Yeah.
When you're as good of a closer as me, I'm one of the best closers in the world. Then give me feedback. I don't need you to tell me how to close. I don't need you to tell me about psychology. I need you to come in and just be good and coachable.
Yes.
That's all I care about. Be coachable, be ready to make more money. I have the Ivy League of sales. I have the Ivy League of leads. I have the best leads, the best sales, the best quality. People come in, only thing you could do is unsell them. They come in wanting, like, imagine that guy came to you and you're like, I want this Jeep. You're like, bro, that Jeep's broken. It was an accident. Like, he unsold you.
Right.
That's the only time you don't get a close.
Especially when you have a hot lead. When the hot lead is coming to do it, just get out of their way. Just fucking, sometimes you don't even need the whole sales pitch. You just say, where's your card?
We get about 140, 150 book calls a day.
Yeah.
Qualified calls. People are making over 120K a year.
Yeah.
There is no way I'm not closing 2 a day.
Right.
There's no way. Even if half don't show up. My team has to be horrible for me not to close 2 a day.
Now, when you're closing, what is the main product that you sell? Like, what is the range of products in your personal business that you
anything from
have?
like a course or a seminar, all the way up to...
Seminars are in-person events.
In-person events, or sometimes over Zoom if they can't make it, but we prefer to only...
But like a set time, like a weekend.
Yeah, like a week, exactly.
Okay.
Or, you got my mastermind. It's called Breakthrough Accelerator, and this lasts for a year. And this thing is amazing. Like, it's literally every week you get a piece of content from me. I've been doing this for 3 years, twice a week. So we took the best 52 pieces of content, and we had my AI rate it on a scale of 0 to 10. Anything less than a 9 or below, disqualified immediately. Then we had about 100 something pieces of content left. We had it pick the best one. So it actually ended up being a 9.5 out of 10 or below. So now we have the standard. And we got 52 pieces of content in order, structured, homework, everything. So now you watch those. Once a month, I get on a call. Instead of just teaching you for an hour and not getting results, I teach you now, and then I do interventions nonstop. So I'm changing people's lives left and right. You're going through this, bam,
So
change.
people sign up for this group to get this content that gets feeded to them.
Yeah,
and then they have a once a month actual, like a group call with you or something?
So the content installs my mindset, my skill set into their life. So they're going to learn how to influence people at the highest level. They're going to learn how to have complete control over their mind. They're going to literally improve their life and reprogram their brain for their wealth, their health, and their relationships. Now, I got people in the program of pro athletes, I got celebrities, I got entrepreneurs. It's super exclusive. So I always interview everyone before I let them in. Like, truly, I interview them before I let them into this program. Very, very nurturing over this group.
And what's the price point range for that?
Yeah, so for Black Friday, we're actually doing it for $15K for the year instead of 30. So that's one thing.
So it's usually $30K for the year.
Yeah. Also, people want to talk to me. They're like, Marczell, I want to pick your brain, or they have a question on the thing, they're watching it. They can't get to me. I have an AI that knows every video, every moment of the video, every question, and will answer everything for you. You can talk to it 24/7. That's included in it. You also have access to most of my online courses. You have access to 4 VIP tickets to my seminars. So you come in person, you network with some of the awesome, coolest people in the world. I have yet to have someone go in that program and be dissatisfied. That is my flagship program. We have 300 members. It's amazing. Insane. It's awesome.
So that's the consistent business all the way through the
year? So that's one of them. Then I have other seminars. Like, I have a seminar coming up this weekend. It's $15K a person. It's called Mental Millionaire. I'm literally reprogramming their brain to be millionaires. Like, I'm brainwashing them for 2 days. It's the hardest event you can ever do, ever.
I love that.
And it's crazy. But they come out with that, like, with the most insane results. That's what I do for my one-on-one clients that pay me $1 million to work with me one-on-one. That's the first thing we do, is what they do at Mental Millionaire. And then I nurture it over the course of the year.
So we have digital product, we have events, then you have the top VIP clients.
Yeah, top VIP clients. And then I have another mastermind, which is more exclusive, which is $80K a year, called Breakthrough Platinum. And that's very exclusive. I meet with them once a week.
That's amazing. You're charging same prices, if not higher than Tony's. Like, I did Business Mastery this year, and I think it was like $10K for the ticket. Yeah, and I think his Platinum is like $70 a year or something. Yeah, so you're already being valued at the same amount.
Yeah, but he also has like platinum lines, like 120K or something.
Yeah.
He's a beast. Like, Tony Robbins is huge.
No, he's incredible. I've been listening to him since I was a kid. But I'm saying the fact that you're charging comparable prices.
I mean, look, I'll tell you this. In terms of skill, I'm the best in the world. Like, I'm the best. You want someone to change their mindset? I'm the best in the world. There is no competition. I think Tony Robbins is the best. I love Tony Robbins. I love him. I mean, this is the guy I want to meet,
Yeah.
But I think I'm the best in the world at what I do. Like, truly.
Yeah, and he's got to make room for the next generation.
Yeah, I mean, I piggybacked off of a lot of him. I piggybacked off Jim Rohn. I piggybacked off a lot of these people. I learned from them. I've listened to thousands of hours of Tony Robbins.
Same. Yeah.
So I mean, I know his seminars by heart.
Yeah.
A lot of them. So that stuff's in my head, and I'm so grateful for all of his stuff. I love him to death. And I think, we're all on the same team. It's not like we're not.
I think there's not enough of you.
Yeah.
The world needs I wish everybody in the country could do like his Date with Destiny seminar or your Millionaire Mindset. So many people actually need this shit.
1000%. You look at Tony Robbins, he took what used to take 24 days and he condensed it into 3 or 5, right?
Yeah.
I take what takes 3 or 5 days and I condense it into an hour.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of the next generation. Every time you have an attention span, 1900s, early 1900s, it was 54 minutes, the average attention span. Today it's 7 seconds.
Yeah.
7 seconds. So you got to be more competitive. You got to get the attention. And he's captivating as hell. He's awesome. But, his audience isn't as young. Mm-hmm. Andrew Tate captivates a young audience, but he doesn't have the same skill set, I would say, that. And he's got controversial perspectives and beliefs.
Yeah.
I don't agree with everything he says. I think there's a lot of things he says that are cool and a lot of things that I don't agree with.
I think that one of the reasons that he blew up also, though, is because he represented the strong masculine frame.
But it comes from a weak one.
It does. It does.
Like the desire to go be a fighter, the desire to why do you want to smoke cigars? Like, the fuck? How is that even cool?
Yeah.
I don't advocate for that. Like, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Drinking alcohol, disgusting.
Yeah.
Like if you're really confident, you don't do that stuff. Mm-hmm. You don't need it. You also, and I think he doesn't really talk down. Maybe he used to, but I've seen a lot of his content. He talks highly of women. He talks highly of people. Like he has a lot of respect. Like he has a great paradigm. He's very, very intelligent. Very intelligent.
But he's not actually teaching a lot of core stuff. I've
never gone through his stuff, so I can't tell you.
Well, yeah, I've seen some of his real world classes, but I think one of the reasons that he succeeded, though, is because men are looking for that strong, he had almost like a strong older brother that could show them the ropes.
He had the perfect marketing at the perfect time, implemented the perfect affiliate strategy, and that's why he blew up.
Yes, the affiliate strategy was through the roof.
Oh, yeah, he was the first one to do it. Brilliant. Yeah. Brilliant marketer. Yeah. Perfect timing. It was a perfect recipe to blow up. Yeah. And he's blown up and he's doing great. Yeah. I still think that the mission he's on, the message he says is fantastic. I think that there's a better way to implement it and a more effective way to implement it.
I think so too. And a more nurturing way to do it too.
Yeah. And we talk about men and women, but I think both need to improve. At the end of the day, when I'm alone, he says this too. You want a girl to hold you when you're feeling, kind of sad. But I think there's a way to teach people how to empower themselves. And everything comes from love. Everyone wants love. Everybody wants more love. So, you just got to come from a place of love. And I think that, you don't have to agree with him. He doesn't have to agree with me. I don't have to agree with him, And there's a lot of things I don't agree with him. There's a lot of things I do agree with him. Tony Robbins, there's a lot of things I agree with. There's a lot of things I don't agree with.
Yeah.
And we're allowed to, and that's the beauty of it. People are going to resonate with him are going to go to him. People are going to resonate with him are going to go to him. People are going to want to resonate with me, come with me,
Yes.
And the thing is, my goal is when people come to me, I don't want them to have to come to me anymore. Come to me and that's it. You don't have to do anything else. You're going to have every tool you possibly need for the rest of your life. That's my goal.
Yes.
My goal is not for you to keep coming back. I don't need recurring clients. There's plenty of people in the world. I need to keep going through it, And that's my ultimate goal. You asked me at the beginning of this, what was my goal? My ultimate goal is to make as many people as possible independent intellectually, independent emotionally, and have complete control over their mind and give them the tools to help others to do it too.
And I think the more people are doing that, the less damage they'll do to the world. Right? Because then it becomes counterproductive to be damaging to the world when you're actually living an abundant life.
Look, you don't need to hate anyone. You don't need to be angry at anyone. I always say anger is the dumbest strategy. Mm-hmm. Dumbest strategy. Why? For what? For what should you be angry? Whoever got what they wanted being angry. And you're like, well, Genghis Khan did. It's all right. So go cut people's heads off. That's what you want to do?
Right.
There's a place that, we have so many more tools and people are evolving. We just got to come from a place of love. And, even at the top, they're going to make us think we should hate each other. I live with 2 Muslims.
Yeah.
Some of my best friends are Muslim.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm Israeli.
Right.
I love them. They love me. Why should I hate them? Why should we hate, each other? There's no reason to hate. I'm not them. They didn't kill me. I'm not killing them. We'll protect each other. We love each other. We're family. I don't care about race, religion, color, skin. What I care about is beliefs. And if your beliefs come from love, then we align. And if they don't, then we don't. And that's the ultimate thing.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Thanks for
having me. I appreciate your whole presence, man, and your whole mission. The world needs more of this.
I appreciate you taking the time to have me on, bro. I love this stuff.
Yeah. Last thing, straight up, what are some actual phrases and self-hypnosis, actual things people can do, take away from this?
You have to learn how it feels to be where you want. Be around someone successful, see what it's like. If someone wants to pay for my dinner, let them, because I'll pay. but I want to know what it feels like to allow it. Why would I allow someone to pay for my dinner if I'm not trying to use them? Because I know that I will pay for theirs next time, right? So I know what it feels like to spend more money, to feel more abundant, to improve, be in the environment. Come to a fucking seminar. Like, be around me long enough and watch what happens to your mindset. Yeah. All of my friends make more money. My brokest friend makes $40K a month. My brokest friend makes $40,000 a month. Yeah. And we look at him, we're like, bro, you fucking broke. Yeah. You know? And it's just because you're in abundance. You want to be around these environments. Learn what it feels like to be there. Let your brain taste it. Because if you play on a high school varsity team, that's one thing. Play on a championship high school varsity team, that's another thing. Play on a championship NBA team, that's another thing.
Now, what if somebody says, Marczell, I don't have anybody positive around me?
Go find them. Go find them. Don't be negative. Dress nicer. Cut your fucking hair. Trim your beard. Brush your teeth. Smell good. Buy some cologne. Be presentable. Offer value. Don't just go there, hey, come do this for me. No. Let me be of service. Not a bitch, but let me be of service.
Yes.
Hey, man, let me help you out. Like, I invited Lamar Odom yesterday. We went out to a club. I bought the table.
Yeah.
Me and my buddy Zach, we bought the table.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Even though he could have afforded to do it. You bought the value. Yeah.
Who cares? We're inviting him. Come hang out with us. Yeah. I'm going to offer value. I'm going to hang out with him. Why not? But I'm not going there like, give me this. Give me that. Post me on this. Give me. I don't need that. I'm here to hang out, man. I don't care one way or another if someone's famous or not. You're just a cool ass guy. I love basketball. Grew up watching Lakers.
So get around. So proximity to
be around the right people. Taste it. Go into a car dealership that's expensive. Feel like you're going to buy the fucking car.
Yes.
See that you're going to buy it. Maybe even buy it.
Yeah. Sit in it. Feel it. Smell it.
Yeah.
Touch it. Feel the wheel. Yeah.
Like, well, we're not going to let you buy it. Well, then they sense that you're not in the right emotion. I could walk into a car dealership as a hobo. They're going to fucking sell me a car.
Yeah.
They don't judge me. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So you go in there with that mindset, they're going to give you whatever you want. Like, I wanted to get a Ferrari. I remember everyone was just like, hey, man, can we give you this? Can we give you this? Can we give you this? Porsche, They take care of me. They're like, hey, what's up, Marczell? What's up, bro? Everyone knows me by name there. They all love me. They pound me.
And what you said is so true about bringing value. Because really, you could be, and I used to actually live in Kentucky, you can find successful people anywhere. It's what are you bringing to the table for them?
Yep.
Right? Go get their coffee, be their assistant, whatever it is. Literally taste the vibration of the thing that you want.
Yeah, feel it. Feel what it's like to be them. Yeah. And live at that standard. I will not live at any lower standard. I don't like my job, quit. But don't just quit and do nothing. Quit and go all in. Get a better job, be around a better environment, learn from someone, get their mindset.
Take the action no matter what. Exactly. You know who does a really good job of taking the action no matter what? It's immigrants.
Yeah, because they're hungry, because they value what they have here. They value the opportunity. We
value America so much more as immigrants, right? Because we know what the difference is. And then there's also people who literally risk their lives crossing borders. They're like, I don't like my place so much that I'm going to give it all up to go. And then you got people living here. They're like, oh, I can't quit my job. What do you mean? There's people living their entire lives behind.
Said, they don't want it enough, right? Yeah. But you ask what will help someone to reprogram their mind. I'm willing to give everyone who's watching this a gift, right? You send me a DM on Instagram. DYD, dominate your day. This is an audio I used to give my one-on-one clients a few years ago. And I made it only for them. They listen to it every day. It primes them for success and confidence and motivation. It reprograms their brain. And, I released it and I had, I think like 1,000 people buy it at $300, just like that, first day. And now, I'm down to give it to people for free. I have a few new audios coming out, 3 new audios, and they're insanely powerful. I mean, they're both powerful, but these are crazy. It's like the new 2.0 version of this.
Dope.
We'll
put a link in the description. Yeah.
Yeah. Let them send me a DM. DYD, and I'm happy to give you guys this audio. Just my team I'll brief my team and I'll give it to you for free.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, thanks for sharing your story, man.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it, man. I support your mission, man. This is dope. I can't wait to see how it all builds up.
Yeah, maybe we'll do another one of these in like a year and see where it's at.
Absolutely. Everybody, this is Marczell. Thank you for watching.